Hello. Oh, it's not picking him up for some reason. That's a great start.
I hate this. Hello. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday night. I updated my window computer to Windows 11 because it kept tagging, like bothering me to do, and it broke a lot of things. So you'll just have to accept the amount of scuff is slightly above normal. Is because all of my things, including all of my software for my characters and all that jazz, all got reset. So I
Did
am
you
gonna
did you
need a
update
cup.
to Windows 10 or from Windows 10?
I upgraded from 10 to 11. Thank you mostly. And I Dernagli, am I saying it somewhat closer right this time? I'm really sorry I keep butchering your name. At least it's better than the guy that kept saying shiny new pants when it was paints, like a dumbass. Yeah, I'm getting closer. At least that's good. I'm progressing instead of regressing. That's what's important. All right, let's lower the game sound because it's probably at 100 and it's gonna hurt everyone's ears if I don't. Making our games better for marketing purposes. We will. Oh, so this is just a, hey, we're gonna collect your data statement. All right. I'm just, I'm just plugging my stream everywhere. I'm sorry. Give me a second. I'm selling out. I need people to know I'm live. I'm a small little boy. I need to scream to the rafters. It's 0.5 a.m. actually. Oof. For me it's 7 o'clock. That is some big time difference right there.
It seems like there's yeah, 7 p.m.
Yeah, 7 p.m. I no. Listen. Listen here, you little shit. You were in my stream for like, yeah, go sleep. No
I, I
you.
I think if it's 7 p.m. it'd be like 5 hours behind compared to you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, now that my entire intro was ruined by my mic being turned off, despite my mic being set up in every other software properly, and you know, thank you for joining me on this night. We will be playing some of this fine game with my only real knowledge about being. It's a werewolf game and it's sort of a storybook game. So I have my good friend here, Charlie, or Charson as he goes by, to help me narrate it all because my throat would start to hurt if I had to read this all aloud.
Wait, I'm supposed to be narrating it?
You're helping. I It has positive reviews. The way I understand it is it's a somewhat decent game. But thank you, Mr. Loki and Dernagle. I'm probably making it worse now for joining us. The OBS scuff, if you wanted to. The OBS scuff is just a part of using OBS. If you can start a
Is it?
stream, if you can start a stream and have it go for the entire duration about any amount of scuff due to OBS, you are winning that day. Like, I don't think anything can knock you down from that point. Yeah, OBS is a fickle mistress. But I got myself some soda, some oatmeal chocolate cookies, and we're gonna have a good time. You go to sleep. Big nap. Well, that's ominous. No, he's no, you're not allowed to sleep. This game is about rage and how it helps us keep things done as well as things we later regret. Sometimes both. How do you feel about that? Great, I'm always angry. I'm okay if anger when it's useful. Well, I prefer to think before I act. Those all give me increased rage.
Yes. We need to decide what you are doing.
You can do whatever you want to do. Your rage is balanced. You're the critical analytic type. That's okay. There's no right path here, just your decisions and their consequences. No,
Yeah,
my decisions and my consequences are immediately catching up to me.
I assume each option probably would have given you a different amount.
I assume so too. Analytical? What the hell are all these gauges? I
Classic world of.
I don't know what's happening. The woods are full of stars. They flicker and come closer and run away. They want me to chase them, to play hide and seek. What do you do, Charlie? What do you do in this situation?
Well, what do you do? You're the one playing. You're the guy.
I observe. Watch the dancer on the tree stumps float, gust the winds, and shiver through the branches, disappear among them. The words in their dance, I don't understand them yet. There's a bunch of them fly towards me like an arrow, rushing towards us to upon me. Just feel like a spear of light piercing my breast. There's dark night. Balance. In the darkness, I feel a tangled root stories keep the forest alive and hear spirits talking to me to judge the enemy. I open my eyes. Then I wake up. Wake up! Have a little makeup. Old and alone. Confused, I open my eyes. The forest around me, thick and dark, reeks of decay to such an extent it's hard to breathe. My head is spinning. Why am I here? There must be a reason. Tree trunks wrapped, tangled in dark-leafed ivy are covered, ripples of lichen where the vines haven't taken hold. The thorny, leafless bushes at their base overrun with needles. The fungi radiate with ghoulish, sickly green light. Dark, sponging like mushrooms, cling to fallen trees. You're interested in streaming the entire day tomorrow, painting my latest mini, streaming will start around with C, which is 5 your time. Entire day, so feel free to make a visit. I will attempt to. The promotion channel on my Discord server is meant for everyone. You're more than welcome to promote your stream there, my guy. I promote on other people's servers, so I can't tell people not to promote in mine. Only fair. That's how quite a few people have found me, so. I don't think I should breathe this in. Can't shake the feeling something odd. Something died nearby. I look around and see my hands covered in dark substance. I'm naked, Sticky, glistening of film liquid clinging to my skin. I feel my face, my hair, blood. I put it there for a reason. I'm eventually gonna make a like one for just me because it is my server, but it's meant for everyone to promote. Besides, Loki, if you streamed more, I could raid you. Anyway, this cannot be real. Feel all like a dream. The twigs, the honey. Pinch myself. Don't wake up. See more clearly. Whose blood is this? Did I kill someone? It's a oh, fuck. There's a severed head in front of me. I usually stream earlier, but I've been trying to stream at like roughly 7 o'clock, usually. I stream a bit more early on Saturdays and Sundays, usually, but I said this stream would start at 7 today, so the stream starts at 7 today, because I try to always stay to my schedule. I wince and touch it. I'm gonna be sick. So I'd lose willpower, or I'd lose rage. Face contorted, the eyes bulging, mouth open, tongue stuck out. It's obscene. You feel bile rising in your throat and start to retch, and then the eyes open in the darkness.
Oops.
You can see their silhouettes jet black against the darkness. They reek of metal and acid bone and money. Massive creatures with mandibles, some with spidery legs. Their flashes eyes burn of industrial furnace. It looks like something wakes up on my chest. They see me as prey, and I'm delayed by their stupidity. I gap and start to run and catch my foot in the gnarled ruin stumble. They follow, and I lead them towards my friends waiting in the trees, ready for an ambush. I bite my lip and hold the laughter. The moment of clarity almost starts saying, what the forest wants me to do. And I wake up. Oh. Wake up. Dreams. Alright, wake up. I jerked upright, my neck stiff. The movement sent a sudden sharp wave of pain through my body. I wasn't in the forest anymore. I was in a bus. The sun streaming through the window, making it hard to see. The girl next to me was touching my shoulder, disturbed. I don't think snapping at her is the right decision.
Then don't pick it.
Yeah, but the other one looks like willpower down. It is. Awesome. What happened? Push away. Overcome your rage strains your willpower. She looks at me concerned. You were laughing like a maniac. Blink, the memory of the dream will still be there. The taste of blood's in my mouth. Look outside, the narrow road cut through the dense forest. There was once my dream. We're almost there, the girl next to me. Her name was Anya. We'd met a couple of weeks earlier on the Coronation Day. She was from Norway. Hey, Loki! A tall, broad-shouldered, calm person who wore her hair long in braids. Somehow, I managed to walk into her crazy field trip across the land of my ancestors. Looks like this game's somewhat set in Norway. Or at least this lady's Norwegian. You immediately have infinitely more knowledge than me. Not good. Oh no. We were there to study medicine. Anna is sympathetic, very indicates your choice of because of your current status. She seems excited. Bye. Oh no, I'm in danger. Anna reached for her backpack to go 2 apples. I'm really happy you decided to come here, he said. Yeah, I offered her some of my cabanasa dried meat sausages that were so much better than the original Polish ones back in the US. I'm glad Anya decided to come with me. I had problems keeping friends around and really needed one. I did some searching, she said from over her phone, and this place is amazing. The last primordial forest in Europe.
By the way, if you want, I can try to narrate some.
You want to take a turn?
Only if you want me to.
I do, because I'm just talked about 5 paragraphs and my throat's already not very much appreciating it.
Fortunately, the stream is doing a lot of buffering,
I don't
so
know. I'm currently trying to figure out why. Why? Why are you like this? Oh, am I good? Nope.
interesting.
Is it done? Is my internet done being shitty? If the internet's fine all goddamn day, and the second I go to stream, it starts acting up. Are you kidding me? This is infuriating. Like, it's fine all day, non-stop, just fine, and now it's choosing to cut out. Like, this, I can't. I'm legitimately getting pissed now. Internet, 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 please, internet, please.
Oh, are we back? Is it working? No?
No? Yes? No? I think. Oh, now we're back to green ping. Stop streaming when I'm at work. I'm sorry, Astral. I usually spawns start at 7.
Alright, yeah, looks like we're
Alright, it looks like we're back.
good.
Alright. Also, how are you today, Astrilla? Unless they're already gone. I think they're already gone because they're at work, so they just join in to scream at me and leave. Upsetting. What's upsetting? I work retail and they're running me dry. That's unfortunate. I get that feel, though. Well, and the upside, if you are done in a couple of hours, I'll still probably be live, so you can get to go laugh at the funny, scuffed goblin doing shitty job narrating this story. Because, you know, that's my existence, is being the scuffed one. I'm off at 6:30. That that I
Is that an hour? Is
I
that
don't
2 hours?
know
I don't
what
know.
how long that is for them because time zones are weird. That's unfortunate. It's 8:30. It's 7:30 for me.
No, I think 6:30 is
Oh,
8:30.
Oh, so you're an hour ahead. All right, I'll still be live then. So come back, come back. I'll be here. All right, now that I have derailed everything to say hello to this beautiful person, I am going to go back to this. And also, my internet's finally decided to
Also,
stop. Hello?
Is the bottom of the game cut off slightly?
Holy shit, it is. Hold up. What the hell? Why is the game slightly too big? Pardon me? It's supposed that's not the resolution it is. Oh, because it's stretching. Why the fuck is it stretching?
It should be good now, right? If you just drag it down.
Ah.
I don't know how you always manage to find a new problem.
Because I'm very skilled, alright? Oh
I
god.
mean that, like, what
That's
you had it on
oh
before
god, oh
should
god,
should
oh
work.
god, oh god, oh shit, oh fuck.
Yeah, just set it back to.
Yeah, it's not a square, that's the problem.
It's not supposed to be a square.
It's supposed to be a square. It's supposed to be a rectangle. Damn it. Words are hard. There we go. Everything's working perfectly. Scuff? Not me, never.
So it's in windowed mode now.
Yeah. I keep grabbing the wrong window to fix it. Please, just go back into where you're supposed to be.
Oh no.
It's so upsetting to me that my manager and we got lines halfway back to the store, Texas.
Oh yeah, it is Saturday, but is there like Black Friday sales? I genuinely don't know. So sorry if I sound stupid. Like obviously it's not Friday, but like it's still the.
Yeah, the deals will still carry over. You know, I'll just play it in the smaller window because it looks nicer. I work at Dollar Tree. We have X-Mix decor.
Yeah, that'd probably do it.
There we go. I just need to keep walking this funny line between not full screening it and dragging it, making it slightly bigger to fix the issue. There we go.
It's probably good that you don't do Black Friday sales. If you got huge
F
lines,
OBS, but listen, you expect anything less to make the trip? I, you know how much America I have to cross to get there, and
technically none if you use a plane.
you still have to fly over it, and those fuckers are armed.
Technically you could go over the ocean. It'd be longer.
Texas is landlocked, I thought.
Is it? Okay.
I thought it was connected to Mexico. Because they always are screaming about immigrants passing over across the border.
Well, then go over Mexico then. I don't know.
Anyway, let's
I'm pretty sure
back
it's
to
not
the
landlocked.
game. I'm in Texas. We're more armed. Yeah, I'm crossing. All right, to do your paragraph so I can have a nice sip.
I don't even know where
It's the white text.
Hold on.
Fine, I'll just...
Oh my god. I had to see what my dog's barking, so.
Our summer language course starting in a few weeks, and I'd like to manage to talk to Anya, skipping the tours of concentration camps and old churches, visiting Aloysia National Park with me instead. So far, it's beautiful, she said. Her eyes smiling, but why are we here again? Egg. Alright. Rude. Alright, good question. Why are we here? They're being bullied. German! A small village in the northwest Poland near the border of Belarus. With its famous first national park. The very last European bison, and according to a quick web, I got 30 seconds to go. Oh no. The very last struggle establishing community. To be honest, the answer I would have been because I've been dreaming about the forest and wherever since I can remember. Alright, see you around, Astral. If you don't come back, have a good rest of your day. I keep losing my point because people are screaming at me.
Alright, what did I
I
miss?
looked her in the eyes. Keep it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. Told her as much as I could. Told her everything. Keep it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. Family is complicated.
I'm looking for my roots.
I'm looking for my roots. Oh, you're gonna read? Alright, take a turn.
I kept it simple so I wouldn't freak her out. What I didn't tell her was even more important. I knew my family was from there. None of my relatives spoke about it, though. There were a lot of things that weren't spoken about in my life. Strange dreams that plagued me. Half-forgotten tales about forests and wolves that I had heard before my mom took me, ran away, and cut off all contact with my dad and his family.
Oh, I saw your new profile picture and I like the art. I gave you a head pat underneath it on your server, my dude. Are you using it for your stream too, or just that? Sorry, I'm also interacting with chat. Wait for her to respond.
Nadia fell silent for a moment. I think it's great that you come from such a magical place, she smiled. The last ancient forest in Europe, thousands of years old. I wasn't sure if I was fond of that magic, but it was hard to ignore. And that was precisely why I needed to do something. Anything about my future. Damn forest. My weird family.
Weird ass family. Had a weird, clear goal in my mind. You know, you keep going. You want me to take a turn?
You can go.
I wasn't there by mistake. I planned this trip for months with a clear goal in mind. I had to face the forest. I had to listen to the truth about my roots. I had to figure out my destiny. I like your new photo, my dude. I like it. Wait. I like your dominant walk and your menacing stare. Is that what you wanted to hear? There you go. I had to figure out my destiny. Let's go figure out the truth of my roots. Goal mystery. Learn family history. Alright. That dictate the... It's not a head pad, it's a hype emote. I used both. My grandfather's story is the secret of my mother running away. There was a mystery in my past. It was one time I uncovered the truth about who I was, but honestly I had no idea what to expect. Elsie, I looked like an overexposed photo of a village, with the contrast turned all the way up. Heat pouring off the cloudless sky, scorching the earth and trees. The grass, the wooden house, the fences, everything looked slightly past its best. Weary, worn out. Everything except the shadows. They were sharp, as though they were freshly printed with the darkest of inks. And they moved on. For a second, I could have sworn they moved, but then I realized it was just a black cat walking down the sidewalk. When it saw me, it stopped in its tracks. Here, kitty, kitty, I said, squatting and reaching down towards the cat. It didn't react, instead looked me down in the eyes, judging me. Hey, mania. Money. Mate. What the hell's that name? Mania? Anya said, looking at surprise. Didn't you say your friend would be waiting for us here? But he wasn't there, and the cat was still staring at me. Let's go. Anya put her on her backpack. I'm tired and really need to find a toilet. For a moment, I was tempted to just get out of the sun, worrying about my missing friend later. But the meeting was just too important. Let's just wait a little longer, I said. I don't have this number, and we really need to meet up with him. His name is Bartek. I met him online while researching Valawadia. The man knew everything there. Local history. I asked him to check if anyone in town remembered my grandparents. Hope he's found something. I really need to pee, he said, 5-year-old. Not a really bright one. Wait a few minutes longer, pretty please. Made the best puppy dog, guys. It's important. There are things we do for our friends. And I looked around to see if anyone coming and made a beeline for the nearest bushes. Watch my backpack, and you owe me. So I waited. And the creepy cat waited with me. Bartek was 15 minutes late, flustered and apologetic. It was his dad's company. He explained while watching his breath. He had to help them out with some paperwork. Wasn't his fault. What does it mean? Tell me more. It's okay, I said, although part of me wanted to snap at him, but it really wasn't his fault. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and freckles all over his face. Come on, take me to your place. His accent was broad and very Eastern European. And Loki, yeah, you can tell me what it means, because I have no idea. Flooded him with questions. Anya liked him. I caught him looking at me. Flood him with questions. Oh no. Flood him with questions. Luckily, he loved talking about his home. When I flooded him with questions, he kindly obliged. When he talked about the village, he had become a tourist destination, how the logging industry had moved on to a nearby town, and the trains had stopped coming, and how the local train station had turned into a hotel for wealthy foreign hunters. The dozens and dozens of bison statues scattered around the village watched us indefinitely. We walked along the street of the village, slowly making our way towards the outskirts. The trees were growing denser, the scent becoming richer and more pronounced. I took a deep breath. So did you manage to trace the name I gave you? I asked. Bartek shook his head. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry. He was avoiding eye contact. A trickle of sweat ran down his temple. He was clearly lying to me, but why? Come on, man, I said. You wrote me that you found something. But he just clamped up. You know what? I think you should drop it. I stopped. Let's not point out the Elephant in the room. I'm choosing to ignore him. With his menacing stare in the corner, he can stand over there, away from me, with his shiny knives. Leashed all my charm. I felt hurt. He was scared of something. The nails. Oh, that is dope. That's cool. I turned to Bartek, touched his arm. What's eating at you, man? He shrugged and shook his head. You can tell us, Anya added gently. Impaired. Oh no. Swallowed by the urge to shake him out of his weight, it took him a while before he finally opened up. The game tracks your decision how you approach the problem. They are accumulating and gradually reveal what kind of person he is, deep in her heart. The story changed to reflect Marion's personality. Your willpower dropped below 0, which means you lose your health and willpower to become impaired. This makes physical tasks you have 0, social skills you have 0, harder and sometimes impossible. So I have to get some willpower back somehow. I've used a large chunk of it up. Well, he blushed. Forehead, back of his hand. I did ask and started with the old people here. I told them that my friend from the States was looking for her roots and wanted to know about the place her family came from. You know the drill. At first people were wary and perceptive. I waited long for the other shoe to drop. And then I mentioned your name. He shook his head. Bartek, no dramatic pauses, please, I urge him. Tension's killing me. One of the old men here told me to go to hell. The other spat on the ground, and his wife crossed herself for a moment. He looked younger and smaller, and my own grandmother told me to stop asking. He said something else as well. What? I asked. She told me to pray for you. Suddenly, the sweat golden afternoon wasn't so sweet any golden anymore. I knew there was something weird, twisted, connecting me, the family, to this forest. I could feel a shiver run down my spine. We walked in silence, but my mind was in overdrive. People didn't want to talk. And what only could that... People didn't want to talk, and what... And that
could only mean one thing.
Please. Please, my brain just did not want to work at all. I was on the right track. Plus willpower. Awesome. And people were scared of your family condition. Healthy. Aggression. Gold. Mystery. My pulse quickened and I tensed up. A hound smelled blood. I was on the right track. Every time you learn something specific, it'll bring you closer to your goal. You regain willpower. Oh, so it's a resource I can burn. I got you. I found one that was nice, clean, that had good reviews. We had a room on the second floor with a huge window and great view of the forest. We dropped our stuff and soon we were ready to go head out again. The day was hot and we were young and restless. Will you show us around? Anya smiled at Bartek. Sure. What do you want to see? Before you go out, check your character sheet. Look for the upper right corner on your screen to find a little useful info about area. Alright, so it's sort of like a hub. No, you cannot. Alright, where do I click?
Probably the character
Yep.
at the top right.
New name, age, profession, student, nationality, American, brave, inspiring, analytical, spiritual, cunning, condition, healthy, goal, mystery, learn your family, people who are scared of your family. Family is complicated. I had a clear goal in mind. My family was entangled in the town and the forest. I had to uncover my roots. Anya and Bartek went with you. How my ancestors live in or the forest I dreamed about. feel like the town would have more useful information. Especially if a guide. Forest. We walked through the village, bathed in the sharp rays of summer sun. It was a lazy afternoon, disturbed by the occasional passing car throwing up clouds of dust that hung on the air for long after the vehicle was gone. Annie was walking close to Barrack, asking him every little detail about the village. People were relaxed, working in their yards, dogs were barking, and every cat we passed froze to look at us. Balanced. People went about their day through giving us wary stares from time to time. What's with the cats? I asked. I stopped the mill sidewalk and mad at us. I don't know. They're cats. Maybe they want to make up for the villagers' managers, protect drugs, you don't know. Some people are wary of newcomers. Curious why. It's complicated, said Bartek, scratched his head, embarrassed about the topic. There was a small conflict around the forest, you know, attracting some weird people, activists, reporters, and bored rich kids. He said as though his dad didn't own multiple businesses. The people like that, and they're getting on the locals' nerves. I noticed Anya frowning. Anya looked skeptical. Looks like the conflict up on looked like the conflict up online, she said, and how it didn't look so small looked pretty important actually. For a moment Bartek looked like he lost for words. Well, you're not one of those crazies. You're like almost local, he smiled. So, would you like to see the village of your ancestors? He spread his arms as if to show off the splendor the village had to offer. What do you suggest? This was a nice village, exclaimed Annie as we walked along the quiet streets. Nothing more moved the hearts and was uplifting. I was bored. The village was really quaint. I enjoyed the walk. It's quaint, I carefully admitted, and it's nice with sunny. Oh, Bartek made a disgusted face, and we burst out laughing. I was thirsty. What's on your drink? I proposed. I'm parched. The local store was a large mini-mart with all sorts of kinds of goods, from beer and vegetables to notebooks, pens. As a bunch near were the local drunks. Balanced. I prepared myself for confrontation. Nothing happened, and they threw on a passing glaze and murmured saying the last B. Strained up and add extra sway to my hips, and then sure the dollars were on me. I flipped them the bird and went inside. Did we have to do that? Bartek shook his head. Went to some inside running television. Oh god, that's a lot of long words. There's almost nothing Polish here. And who in their right mind drinks ordinary soda? I was putting soda on the back shelf when I heard commotion coming from outside. Odd voices. Some slurs, some curses. A clear mockery polite. I'm so sorry, darling. I didn't expect you to like my skirt. Aw, fuck, Bart murmured under his breath. Look outside. Balance. Look outside. There was someone standing next to the drunken's bench. They were definitely not local. The person was odd. Not helplessly gray, but old with his deep wrinkles and narrowed mouth. They had unisex grace of a tired Aaron revised rockman. The shoulder length, disheveled hair, complete look. They looked like someone who had teleported themselves there from a different planet. They had clean-shaven eyes, bright cylinder, and bright blue. They wore heavy arm boots and an exaggerated red skirt, tank top, lots of large jewelry. On their bag, there were pins and lots of pins, LGBT flags, anarchy pacifist symbols. I think some German band stripes.
Someone's here. Gonna be right back.
Mom would have told me to stay out of this.
Try not to do anything stupid while I'm gone.
I will do very things stupid. Please put yourself on mute when you leave. Mom would have. I like to approach this fine fellow. He smiled, ignoring the men approaching the foreigner. I am Aya. This guy here said. Looked at me with the senile smile. Nice to meet you, Mara. They said with a full German accent. I'm Kim. Just we should leave. We should get somewhere else, I suggested. Kim smiled and threw a man a cold day at Graves. But why? I see no reason to move at all. Hey, someone's on our backs. Kim smiled to the men. Turned around. One approached us, had bits of braids, and were seen. Thick as my arm. There were something faintly Asian about the facial features. The men on the bench looked around in defiance. You should stop drinking that moonshine. It makes you pick fights you can't win, she said. I was sure the drunkards would attack her. They just slumped down. But it looks like oh, that's the heart. Oh, God. Then one of them gesturing towards us. The last fucking time, the name's Lisa, she pronounced. Lisa. This is my friend. You leave them alone, got it? Her Polish sounded weird, more like Malariak or Maladover. Even when she cursed. The drunkards mumbled and went away drinking. Thank you, Lisa, Kim said in English. You shouldn't have. Oh, but I want to. Who are you? I asked. I'm Lisa. I live here. I looked up and down and said, who would you be? This is Mania. She's also not from here. Oh. Here protests the lodging, raised her eyebrow, or just a tourist. Why would there be lodging in a national park? Is this place a National Park Act? Why is there a lot in here? You think you could leave the oldest forest in the continent for the breather, the heart of us alone, would you? Look like the grim expression. There's illegal logging here. Yeah, I chipped in. Wood is money, and there's plenty of wood in this forest. I didn't see the forest from here, but suddenly I felt aware of the presence. It also felt something else in me, deep in my stomach, spraying through my veins. Anger, like a wave of heat coming through the heart. Strange flower, a world appeared in my mind. Area. Looked at me in the eyes. I'd eat those grimy bastards alive. I was being washed. When I looked up, I saw Kim observing me with a curious expression. They were hiding something. I looked at them and realized they were much more than they first seemed. Their uncolorful attire looked tiresome, primal. Looking at me, I asked, I know you were strange dreams, I whispered. I suspect the force is reaching out to you. Lean closer to me. It runs in your blood. The words like a punch to the gut. Trust me, I know. Who am I? I asked quietly. You see things as they are. Look at me. Yeah, they'll figure it out. Little mystery. Knew what was going on. Before I could ask, Annie and Barrett approached Kim and he has to get tomorrow on the lodging site. It blew me away with a kiss and an arm pound Lisa and walked away. Well. I kept looking at his shoulder that no one was following us. So, we have quite a few churches here, Bartek explained as he walked through the road. Two an Orthodox ones, one Catholic, one Baptist church, he said, as though there were something uncommon. Seems like a lot of churches. They all use one building, I asked. Oh, never thought of that, he paused. Guess they could, but you know, most of these churches have been here for some time. We still use them. They don't have a tradition of using the same building in different editions. So, it is what it is. Even the Arthurian churches, asked Anya. I don't think so. Bartek shook his head, led us away into a small wooden church surrounded by a cemetery. Anyway, Even though all these churches, there's only one cemetery. The church is Orthodox, but the graveyard here is a mismatch of styles and faith, Catholics, Orthodox, atheists, everyone resting together. That was a nice sentiment. Something poetic about it. Everything being the same place when they die. Burdick smiled. There it is, isn't it? He looked at the cemetery for a moment, seeming lost in thought. All of his family lies here, he said. I mean, the ones that are dead. Hey, what do you think? What do you think happens when you die? I hope for something fair. I like to think that something fair, like the idea of a judgment, you know. Death, like they're doing the same thing. Yeah, that'd be nice to believe it does. They looked over the cemetery fences. Anyway, spiritual heart of balance, yeah, go ahead. What? Look at something I came here for something. The gate, Bartek shift affiliate. I don't know what the idea, but why? I mean, I told you that people have weird reaction. Maybe it's better we leave it. What are you waiting for? And he smiled at him. He mumbled something and led through the labyrinth of graves, fair cemetery. Balanced. Walkways were narrow. I could feel Bartek was having a hard time finding his way. It wasn't so stalling. He was just generally wasn't sure where to go, especially when we got to the older part of the cemetery. For some point, we saw a woman, tall, broad-shouldered, long-legged, gray dreadlocks pinned to the crown of her head. She must have been there in her late 40s or early 50s. She was marching through the walkways, fury in her eyes. Bartek stepped between the graves to get out of the way. I didn't move. Didn't see any reason to move out of someone's way, so I didn't. Are you lost? I asked the woman in Polish, looking at me with surprised concern. I asked her for directions. I'm looking for an old grave. I said my family lived here. What's the name? Brussels. Boys dead. The part of young version. Made a feminine form of the name. She took her the head. I'm just coming back from there. Go to the end of there, turn to the left, and far corner of the wall. She looked at me in a funny way. Thanked her. Oh, thank you, Bert. Rick didn't seem to know the way. He has no way she knows him. Oh, it's you, she said with a barely hidden disdain. Well, better be seeing you around then, I guess. With that, she left, followed by Bartek's hostile gaze. Ask Bartek about her. Who is that? Oh, that's just Olga. She's a local activist. She left Bosnia when she was 18 or something, returned a few years back, notion that she was going to change this place. We continued the far corner of the cemetery. It was moss and a lonely grave. It was damaged. Tombstone was broken. Clearly, someone had obviously smashed it with a hammer. The name was half erased. The plaque also was damaged. Someone had tried to scratch out the name, but the letters were still visible. There's a circlet around the grave. There's a circlet of forest salt around the grave. I'm sorry, Bartek sighed. I didn't want you to see this. Was it because of me? The first thing you did when you gave me a name was come here. I really like that. Ask why I looked at the plaque. Can't read letters, it's all wrong, but Russian, Belarusian, he explained. There were lots of them before the war. Puts his hands in his pocket. See, you don't know anything about your dad's side of the family. He's cautious. Whatever happened happened at least 70 years ago, and someone still remembers. I don't know them. My mom left my dad when I was just a kid. I don't remember much, I admitted. And she kept me away from them. She doesn't even know I'm here. I didn't tell her I was visiting. Maybe he was abusive, said Anne carefully. Perhaps she wanted to protect you. Yes. There wasn't much left to do. That thought, I left the spooky cemetery. That's a creepy sentence. Couldn't stop thinking about the desecrated grave. Uh-huh.
I've returned.
You couldn't stop thinking about the desecrated grave, Charlie.
The devastated?
Yep. I'd say more desecrated considering the fact they beat you with a fucking hammer. You want to take a turn? So you eat a cookie?
Sure. Bartek wants... Bartek wants to show us the most picturesque spot in the area, said Anya. Maybe that's not the right word, he said, frowning. Well, it's not like it's that beautiful. It's not like it's that beautiful, but it has, an atmosphere, a climate.
I'll let you pick.
I'm clicking the buttons, but they don't seem to do anything.
Tell me the one you want, jerk.
What? No, it's fine. I'm not gonna pick for you. Ambience? Anya said it at the same moment as I, and we laughed. Ambience! Bartek smiled, visibly relieved. I meant ambience. Alright, now it's my turn to,
We need a cookie, so yeah. Give her.
Oh, I guess I can keep going. We soon left the village behind and ended up on some abandoned railroad tracks. So this is where the magic happens. I grinned, pointing at empty bottles and used condoms strewn along the tracks. But with the slow, winding river a stone's throw away and the long, drooping branches of the old trees shading the unused railway, that place really was picturesque. The bees buzzed around us, the birds sang like there was no tomorrow, and the fragrance of herbs hung thick in the air. My head was spinning. On days like these, kids like you.
I have to go back reading.
Yeah.
Why was the railway no longer in use? Asked Bartek. Wish I had been able to come here by train. The bus was awful. There's a cargo line, he shrugged. Where are we going? I asked, dropping the subject. The line ends in the old train station. A long walk from here. He pointed in the direction of the trees. They turned it into a hotel. But you can even spend a night in a luxury train car that belongs to the Tsar. It's a tourist thing. We entered a dense osp. We noticed a woman standing along the trees. It was Lisa. Hello, Bartek, she said. How'd you get here so fast? Couldn't help but act. There's a short cut. She didn't elaborate. Well, hello, Strana Devanova, answered Barrick. I could hear something in his voice. Was it fear, respect, anger? Couldn't place it. She smiled. You mind if I join you, I asked? So what's the story of you two, I asked Bartek. He's from around here. He shook his heads. It helps with the protest, you know? Lisa turned to me. The protest against logging that your father was so eagerly to promote? Sorry, shouldn't have we coexisted with the bullets? Being taken what we need to survive? Just as everything does? 6,000 trucks of wood isn't taking what you need, kid. He threw me a glance, looking for help. He had a point. Don't look at me, Bartek. I think it's barbaric. It wasn't about beat around the bush. If it was about your local auction, it would be a problem, he chimed in. But the giant corporate here work with heavy machinery. It's your friend about your father's money and its clients. We walked a path too narrow for us all to walk together. So at some point I found myself walking with Lisa. She squat from time to time to collect herbs. So, you're looking for the roots, she said after her. Well, why? I need to know the whole story. There's a story here, and I need to hear it, I answered honestly. Sit down with me. She's nested among the roots of an old tree. Reached in her basket and took out a blunt. Oh, this is where this is going. Let me have a smoke, and I'll tell you a story. She noticed when I hesitated. You need to hear this. Sat down. Lisa let out a cloud of smoke and started talking. From what I learned from Bartek's grandma, you're asking the wrong question about the wrong people. I shouldn't be asking about my family, I pointed out. But not the right branch of the family, she said. Grandmother wasn't from this village. This is tainted land, girl, she continues. So much blood spilled that Punzia almost lost her mind. Yeah. Punzia, one of the words for foolish. Forest. Polish had lots of those. She used it in weird ways. Why do you call the forest Punzia? This is the last right word. Calls her Pusia because it's the proper name. He huffed. Last the Pusia. Pusia? Puzzazia. I don't know. What a dog is to a wolf. Domesticated, enslaved, used. Pusia is a primal forest, one untouched by humans. Primal, strong, and feared. There was admiration in her voice, and I realized what the words sounded in the rustle of leaves. As as I was telling you, Pusia almost went mad, and not wise to wake spirits, especially not your own. You met the dead? I asked. She looked at me with those uncanny eyes of her, gaze almost unbearable hard with anger, smoldering deep, ready to jump at my throat, and suddenly something changed. Lisa said heavily, "You have no idea, do you?" Oh, what? What do you mean? I asked. You have no idea who you are. Nobody told you what it's like during the war and after it. Her eyes lost focus. In 1939, when the war broke out, the first Germans, then the Russians. You know, they actually worked together. Stalin never forgot he was beaten by the Poles in 1920. She shot me a glance, but not politely. I didn't really care, but I nodded politely. Oh, so you have no idea what I'm talking about then. It doesn't matter, really. She took a drag. Anyway, many of the millions of lives later, Stalin and Hitler stopped sleeping together. So to speak, the Germans came, then the Russians came again. And then there were the forest soldiers. I nodded. So she would continue. The forest part my attention. Forest part got my attention. It started as the Polish soldiers, but the war ended and became guerrillas to fight the Russian occupation. And then the desperate bandits, she sighed. For the people who lived here, they're all the same. Germans, Russians, for soldiers. They killed, they maimed, they tortured, they burned villages. Didn't matter what language they spoke. I'm sorry I touched your arm. I didn't know this was so tangled. My great-grandpa were from here, he sighed. After the war, there were some changes in my whole family sent to Siberia to die. My grandmother was the only one who survived. She met British shaman, and here I am. But your story is tangled with all of ours. She looked straight at me. Have you ever wondered what your grandfather did during the war? I wanted to answer, but suddenly I felt dizzy. Smoke from her joint smelled funny. Forest moss, strange herbs, ash, and blood. I tried to stay focused. I focused and understood what strange... I can't eat this cookie and narrate at the same time. Okay. I focused, understood that the forest feeling came from within. It was like a long, frightening dream, like an ancient memory. Suddenly, brought to life, let me in, and we're sitting around the fire deep in Prussia. They knew the rules, and they decided to break them. I say, others nod their heads. We have to react, or they'll stop respecting us. Show no weakness. Do what you have to do. Tomorrow we're gonna burn the village. Wolves gather in the darkness, awaiting a feast. When I came to my senses, Lisa was still looking at me. I understood what you're saying. I looked at her. Something from my family's past cast a shadow on my future. She shrugged. I've told you everything I know. You want more? Talk to my girlfriend. We'll be lodging site tomorrow. Yeah, that's a good idea. My grandfather was a forest soldier. I will now, I said. Finally, I knew who and what to ask. There you are, Barrick waved at me. I lost you. I said my goodbyes to Lisa and went back. The B&B was quite quaint. I left Anya and Bartek outside. It looked like they needed some time alone with her to say their goodbyes. What a day, she smiled. So what do you think? Make quick mental inventory of everything that happened today. I mentioned the graveyard. Animals, what do you think my grandfather knew? She put her hand on her shoulder. Whatever it is, it's not your fault. It wasn't. It could be. It wasn't. But it could be my responsibility. Remember the scene at the shop. Where's the could be right there? Fight! Maybe I envied Kim's style. Annie had told a joke. She seemed worried. Also, I have to tell her what happened with Lisa. I think it was my grandpa. Hard to say, but sure, but shrugged. They're cutting down the forest! I can't believe they're logging here. I shook my head. It isn't the forest in Unicascolis or something. Yeah, I know. I want to check this out, though. The protest people were talking about. Maybe we can go there tomorrow. I didn't feel like talking anymore. Time trying to make sense out of everything that I learned, experienced that day. The gibbous moon was shining through the window, gentle wind blowing. When I closed my eyes, I could still see the weird vision that had come from the day. My roots were here. I could feel them, almost touch them, and they were reaching for me. Lay in the woods, balanced. The only ray of moonlight shines through the broken namesake of an old grave imprisoned under the cold, shining stone. Dead wait for something. My senses heightened. I see the moon cutting the sky in half. I'm a wolf cub, like the ones my grandfather told me about. I will grow my fangs and become sharper. I will taste blood. I feel a pull. I surrender to it. I run towards clearing. There are piles of fresh corpses of people who died too, small, skinned, and mutilated. The loved ones stand around them, grieving, unable to do anything. And suddenly they are just trees and tree trunks. I look around, my nostrils aflare. Who did it? Who murdered the trees? There's a stench in the air, like rotting meat rotting in acid, but somehow worse. I see the monstrous army. Their mandibles are whirling chainsaws. Their long metal arms are wrapped with blades, wrapped with black pipes. They look like glistening intestines. Their smell is vile. They wait, unmoving. Turn to the forest for answers. The dead do not hold answers, neither do the machines. I walk between the trees, trying to hear their wisdom. They whispered me, telling me to look at the sky. Between the stars, two shapes circle each other. An old sad wolf with great hair, and a white weasel. They keep their eyes on one another as they continue their dance. Suspicious, but not hostile. We need to fight the enemy. The awful rotting stench, I know that much. But how can we do that when we cannot trust each other? They stop, they look at me, and the clearing. I look at them cautiously. I gaze at them like they're gazing at me. Now, three of us are all measuring each other. They ascend the opposite side of the clearing. One on the other shadow joins them. I stand in the middle of all of it. After the day, next morning, I got up. Down the bed for a moment. balanced. I wasn't sure how I felt. The weight of the previous day had curled up with something. I felt like a tiny merry-go-round, like gaining speed. Remember the dream, the clearing, the animals, the night sky. How am I supposed to react to it? I took a shower, ate something without really paying attention, went out. Anya joined me. I was running all the options over and over in my head. I didn't really care where I was going. But when I looked up, the sun shining. The village was far behind me. I was at the logging site. Annie looked around. So what's the plan? I had to learn about my family. Or I can try to say I need to find someone, find the lady who knows more. I looked around. On my right, there was ancient forest. On my left, the freshly torn clearing ahead of me. Ruining the view, there were huge logging machines, a group of people arguing in their shadow. It was clearly they needed an outside voice to settle the dispute. I looked at everyone. There are people here too. The loggers were sitting idly on the tree trunks, sharing a cigarette. The police that had stood between them and a colorful group of protesters were visibly uneasy and twitchy. I saw some reporters who were clearly bored because no one was doing anything interesting. The harvesters loomed over the clearing, reeking. Oleg was arguing with a man in his 30s who looked vaguely military. The protesters were clearly conflicted. I wanted to know what this is all about. Curious about the reason of all this, I approached the protesters. One of the police officers, young and nervous, said something I didn't fully understand. Police, sympathetic. Oh, okay. Anya flashed her best smile and flooded him with Norwegian. He smiled back. Oh, he said, you're one of them, and let us go. Then I noticed that someone joined us. Don't worry. Oh, if you don't have a trainer pass yet, you can also go down and there should be a big box below me where you can set it up too. Congratulations on your chimchar. Don't worry. She patted the officer on the arm. An office pickup line anyway, he recoiled. You shouldn't touch me, ma'am. I smiled. I smiled at her and wanted to say something, but I was interrupted. Pat, some guy called her from the gathering. Could you come here? I need you to show Ogla the chart. We have charts? And she started to reach for a backpack, taking out a tablet. And there at it again, she murmured under her breath and winked at me. Coming. I walked towards Olga. I heard more and more of the argument. Olga, you can. The man speaking with a strong German accent. Pat stood next to them with her tablet. She looked a bit amused. Do not fucking tell me what I can or cannot do, Cornell. Ogla interrupted. Oglia. I don't know how to say that properly, so I'm just going to keep saying it wrong until someone corrects me. You can, the man speaking with a strong German accent. Pat stood next to him with her Oh, no, screw. Oh, no, I lost my train of thought. I can because they are destroying our mother. I can fight with all means at my disposal, even if it means burning those harvesters to the ground. A slender, green-eyed man was standing near her. He looked a few steps back, took a few steps back, and went towards one of the harvesters and turned back on us all and pissed on the machine. Olga smirked. Aw, Daniel, you know how to bring the point home. He looked at her confused. Burn the harvester? Colonel asked calmly. In this drought? Olga, are you out of your mind? You know what I mean. We fight them any way we can because this is fucking war, she spat. He sighed. You've never seen a real war, and it shows. Nobody's shooting at us. And believe me, we want it to stay that way. We need a peaceful protest. Hi, we need to talk, I said, approaching Ogla. Listen, I'm in the middle of something here. We could talk later. Middle of something? Normally I would wait for them to finish, but this is important. I looked at them. I looked at them both. Ogla with her furry and pashy, Cornell with his cold professional demeanor. I shared without reservations what I felt about the situation. Peaceful wasn't flashy enough. There's a fine line to tread. Cornell unfriendly, Lisa cautious, Danielle cautious, Kim sympathetic. Holy shit, that's a lot of text. Did I just piss off half the fucking town? Ogla cautious. This is the lady who may have broke my grave. Lisa, perfectly arrogant figure, look braids, stunning hair. Kim, who's Kim? Library activist, Berlin. Alright. Why are you cautious of me because I wanted to protest, not to get violent? That makes no sense to me. There's a fine line to tread, I said in silence. You don't want the protesters to be painted as terrorists, and you don't want them to be treated as irrelevant and ignored. Kim shook their head and moved forward. Ogla, darling, you know I love you, but Cornell really knows what he's doing. Please trust me on that one. They looked at her apologetically. Fuck off, Kim. You didn't even trust me enough to come here on your own when I asked you to. Lisa looked at them, straight in the eye. Kim, you want to teach me about violence? She looked at them straight in the eye. About fighting oppression just because your boss went to one mission in Afghanistan. Polish was peculiar, kind of mellow. Cornell winced. Lisa, leave Kim alone. I didn't know what to say, and it seemed like the whole discussion was derailed. Oh, that wasn't good. Who's Cornell? Actress from Germany who looks vaguely military, short cropped hair, blah blah blah. Oh. A buzz cut. Let them solve their way. Olga pushed Cornell firmly in the face, turned around and walked away. He turned around, holding his jaw and wincing. He looked at me and just shook his head as if it was my fault. The conversation was over, at least for the time being. Cornell, together with his crones, walked towards the reporters while Olga went back to the group of people standing in the shadow of the old oak tree. I felt someone watching me, but when I looked around, I saw nothing suspicious. Then I looked up and sensed the source of the presence. A whole forest was watching me. I could explain and understand it, but I knew the truth. Focus. Hold up. Is the actual forest something that can be pissed at me? Are you fucking kidding me? The tree is so ancient and eternally it turned out to be so fragile when confronted with high-tech logging experiments and greed. Goal, mission, stop the logging. I looked at my friend. We have to stop the logging. Yes, like Ogla said, and a nod. What are they doing is unforgivable. We have to fight. I looked at one group and looked at the other. Surfaces were dripping with black oil, and the forest stood tall, sun's full golden. It looked like the protest itself. Trees dead, limped, helpless. I shook it. Firm and strong. His eyes were uncanny the shade of gray. He might have been in his early 30s, I thought. Damn, you look like a tough guy, I blurted, unimpressed. He was in that bad boy hipster military way. I know, he said, without skipping a beat. Cordell looked in my eyes. I know why you came to this forest is reaching out to you because of the long time your ancestors were in its servants. Now you're the only one left to pay what they owed. My family left unpaid debts to the forest. Cornell's hospital. The important question is, he looked at me and, do you want to help? I had no time to answer. But before I could answer, I heard commotion and turned around. The reporters were coming our way, but the camera switched off and pointed at the ground. Why weren't they filming? Funny, I thought they should be taking photos or filming the protests. I remember they were the site, so Cornell said, again, patience in his voice. The reporter shook his head and vaguely glooped. Sorry, everyone can't do anything. We're not allowed to cover what's going on here. What? I exploded. What do you mean you're not allowed to? Who said so? Inspiration or make them understand?
I don't know.
Matter of shaking my head. No fucking way. I didn't quite look at Cordell's face. Enjoyment. The media will cover anything that is violent, and the press could prevent us as eco-terrorists. We should be locked in prison. So we need to prove that we're not terrorists. He looked at the reporters and a bunch of media together in a circumstance. We need to convince them we're not terrorists. Bloggers are the real villains. I'm just gonna stand idly by and watch Mother Nature be killed, I asked for a moment, surprised at how clear my voice was. We can't let them kill the forest. The loggers came here to destroy it. But they're just vulnerable, fragile humans. We are strong when we stand together. You and us. It had an effect for us, but not the one I was hoped for. Oh no. And for exactly the new age bullshit I was hoping for, I turned and saw the journalists lowering their camera. There was a sticker on the logo of the national TV station. Now let's throw a few short shots of that freak, he pointed to Kim. Why are the deviants destroying the traditional way of the life of the Polish countryside? The reporter started saying in his microphone. Do I smash the camera or ask the others for support? Is there a save feature in this game? There is no takesies backsies.
Just go with what you believe is the correct choice.
Charlie, this is what I feel like the correct choice is. This is what I feel like is the funny option.
Well, pick whatever what you would do.
What's up with you? I asked the others. Have lost a spark. You've forgotten what to do the job. I held my breath, but ignored me and turned to the attention of the locals group, who they crashed with the cops. Felt something touching my arm. The moment you see him, Kim turned to me and glazedly friendly pushed me away. We'll be in touch, they whispered. The ugly truth. I was on the road to the village. Nobody could see me. I stopped and screamed. Scared of flock birds took off the stream. Alone, the whole commotion, and lost Annie on my sight, my alone. Or so I thought. The rest is cautious. Well, you had it coming, a voice beneath me said, and I jumped. I was looking at me. I was fine. I'm fine, I croaked. My throat hurt. You stubborn in the backpack here, she said. Have a water, you need some. I walked towards the village. We talked. I learned that she was an independent German reporter who'd come for about a month ago. Her name was Erica. So why are you protesting the lodgings? He said after a few minutes. For personal reasons. Even for personal reasons, I've dropped right in the middle of some eco-guerrilla campaign. I shrugged, and for many reasons, my interest is aligned with the protesters. I looked at her. Why are you asking? Do you know why we're cutting down the trees? She asked. Because do you know the logging is done by the government company, the state forest? The fuckers. I growled. Politicians are tainted. I hate politicians. So, we take off the nuke from the orbit and shook my head. Pretty radical, she snorted with laughter. We are to destroy the forest. Rack reached for a notebook. It all started with the spruce bark beetles. Erica looked into her notes. Explained the situation. A year of the beetles infestation was catastrophic proportion of the foresters. Decided the only way to stop it is to save the rest. The forest must be cut down as many infested trees as fast as possible. Many of the trees are wrong, nothing too late to change anything. If they just remove the dead trees, maybe if they remove the dead trees, the infestation will spread to find the solution. They might be able to do that, but dead trees would make the forest unique. There is 20 times more specific living on a dead spruce tree than a live one. Can they just leave the puzzle alone for nature to take its course? I asked. An option I committed, but droughts, no one's sure if the forest will survive on its own. I was infuriated. Why couldn't she just answer my question? I tried to understand her point of view. I see that you're trying to show me the whole picture, and I appreciate that. I'm doing my job, extra aspect. That's what I want to do. I nod. That's her job. My let's just explain the situation. What happened to the wood? The state forest are financially self-sufficient. They earn enough money selling forest products, include wood. That's why the bark peels. It's not the reason why, but an excuse to push more wood into the market. You're not the only one feeling helpless, she sighed, but anger must makes you black and white. The truth is more nuanced than that. They could do bad things for sure. Some people really do shitty things, I shrugged. Then nothing was the matter. What about my anger? The helpless when I saw all that. I took a deep breath. I remember what Cornell said. I'll smell back there. She looked at me with a weird expression. What smell? I asked. Of course, all the things you. The smell I huffed. On here. She looked at me with a strange expression on her face. I was going to say something better than it. She looked hurt. You've been hurt by mouse, but she learned in your own time. Enough. The talk, I let it go. Met a lot of interesting people. We gave an interview. I learned a lot. All I wanted to share. You know, there's a lot more seeing. Couldn't see everything. Here for what I learned. For wrestling time, wow. I was tired. Uh-oh. I can do anything better than you. Quiet now, yet I know deep down inside that something isn't right. Its neck. Dark and light senses. Welcome the darkness. Oh, a snake-like wraps around your ankles, caressing your waist. Play mat. Full of maimed bodies. They're all trees. Fallen trees. Still alive. Still struggling for air. Just a stench. Darkness and official arms, whirring blades. They snap at me blindly. Raging anger burning through me. My friends watch as I bask in their rage. I howl. Death sounds. Monstrous shape. We bite off the heads, tear off the arms. We are executioner acts, unflinching. I wake up. Wake up in the morning. Identify what's happening to you. I was alone. The sun selling in the deep red light. Made in blood. My pillow, duvet on the ground. I was sweating bullets. Looked at my leg. When did they become so hairy? I could have sworn I shaved them that morning. Uh-oh. Am I the werewolf? Am I the bad guy? Oh, about sleep, I couldn't sit since I arrived at the village. I felt like I was falling down a rabbit hole. Or rather, the wolf's den. My dreams were getting more and more vivid, and I was scared. I need to talk over to someone who I trusted. I'd come to Anna. Despite all the strange things I've done, she stuck with me. I messaged her, and she messaged me back. On a walk, come join me. The sun had set, and the moon wasn't up yet. The forest loomed in the horizon. The actors camped somewhere there. We met near the shop. It was characteristic enough point and easy to get from town. What was it? Anya looked at me. Something strange was happening to me. I know, it sounds crazy, but I think there's something strange happening to me. I'm scared, Anya. Anya, I don't know. Anya, I think. There's something strange happening to me, she nodded. I have no idea what it is. I know less than you, she frowned. Maybe we should go to our new friends, the activists. They smiled a little. They are weird and must know something. I smiled. That's why I came to you. You have the best ideas. She smiled and started walking. Let's go. I'm sure they're not sleeping. Let's not. Well, yeah, I'm sure they're not sleeping at night. They would never. They can't. The camp had a different vibe than the logging protest site. There were more people there. Looked around, take it all in. They're coming and coming. Anya laughed, excited. The people camp seemed quite cheerful. Smells were intriguing. I'm hungry. My stomach growled. I was hungry. I looked around, definitely needed to talk to someone. But what's going on? Oh, I felt. How's Ogwa feel about me? Cautious. Awesome. Cornell's hostile. Alright. I made a great first impression. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go see the guy who hates me. Oh, there. I approached Cornell. He's smelling me. What brings you here? I was confused. I'm confused, answered quickly. Is it true? I mean, all the stories I've heard about connecting me to the forest. It looked to me with those uncanny gray eyes. It felt his attention and welcomed me. Yes, it's true, he said. That's why we're here, to stop the government destroying the forest. That's how we don't agree of the difference. Will it work? Work? I asked. I don't know. All I know is that it worked before. I worked for Gandhi and I worked with the nations again. Or for communism. So let's see if it works with capitalism as well. Balance is not an option here. He smiled, and I think, quite well, the anger doesn't really get shit done. I knew that. Smiled back. Somehow, being around him made me feel more relaxed. I know you can count on me, I answered. My family debt to pay, and I couldn't observe anyone. So, we may have a little citizen protest going on tonight, Corell said. But I need your support if we want to convince the others. They want to do something at night, but after the whole day's discussion, we were still divided on what to do. 3 options. Choose the lesser of 2 evil. Ogle's plan is violence. Cornell's plan, docility. You said there was 3 options here. Oh, 3 for 1, 3 for 1. Alright. Let's go with not violence. Activists. I voted for peacefully protest, assuming we're on our way to the National Park Headquarters Education Center. Banners installed. And you tagged along. She's my friend. I trust Aunt her. Then was heard. We've done something illegal. So we were on our way. We realized to follow the path, begin with vote. We made a difference. National Park Headquarters located something called Palace Park. The name was historical. The name likely everything in Poland historical centuries ago. King and his hunting lodge there, but something mishmash of old and new buildings scattered across the park. They were rough and bulky, made of stone and brick, while others extravaganza of wooden porches, lace-like shutters, and metal meticulously sculpted pillars. There was no one around. The area was well lit. I looked around once more, the moon hidden behind the clouds. I didn't see any stars in the sky. If you didn't count us, the park seemed empty, dead even. Suddenly I remember the church located next to the palace gate. I could feel its dark silhouette looming in the darkness, waiting. We're ready. They spent the whole day painting the sign on a length of material sewn together from what looked like old sheets. Where do we hang it? Asked Darnell, who'd come equipped with climbing gear. We clearly need inspiration. He looked like he needed some inspiration. These drain pipes look handy, I said, pointing at the wall. I think it's almost exactly like between them. Doesn't matter, Ogla said, because hanging a banner is a waste of time. Balanced. He clearly upset that we ditched her plan, but perhaps she had a point. Asked her for advice. So, what could we do better next time? She asked for advice. We could vote for a plan that has a chance of actually helping the forest. Ogla rolled her eyes. It's a great banner, and I'm sure it would look good on the pictures published for a number of independent blogs. She looked at Cornell. But it's stuck so deep into the overeducated college departure, we won't get hit. The lodgers won't care. Cornell was looking for an answer. Nudged Nell. We got back to the woods. You go right under the cable, I proposed. For fuck's sake, it's a fire hazard. Who hangs wire like that? Anyway, you climb on the roof in the front, we take the back, and we walk in the park. Daniel smiled at me. You have a good eye. Finally, we pulled the banner up. It's an important message. Daniel looked up the fire in their eyes. The world must know. I looked at the sign flying over the park. It's okay, I guess. I flushed Cornell gathered us together. We stood as a group, but felt like everyone standing there apart. The rifts between the deeper else side. Let's go for a trip, he said, to remind ourselves what we're trying to protest. Personnel is neutral. The night forest was cool and indifferent, and we cycled through it. Didn't care about our actions, noticed bicycles or quarters. Cornell led us to clearing surrounded by circle. There is present. Hence. I chuckled. What is this place? There was something eerie about this place. I cared for the mind and inhaled. Balanced. When I took a breath, I felt a wave of strange energy filling my body. Harmonious and bright. It was a gunshot. Gunshot. Anya gaps, looking wide-eyed, terrified. The others turned confused. Who's there? Cornell shouted. There's a rustle and a bunch of men in camo with a rifle among trees. I observed them. Angry steps. Listen to the trees murmured. It was their leader, Wade, when finally focused on Cornell. This area is closed for the night. The huntsman in Polish, there was contempt in his voice. There's a hunt going on. Y'all are trespassing. We have police officers here, so if you would go home, if I were you, unless you would like to get arrested. This is a hot pile of hot bullshit. The guy reeked of guilt. Should I turn for the forest for advice or try to de-escalate the situation?
I'm sure both of them are probably fine.
Yeah, but I don't have a save feature in this game, so if I fuck up and someone dies, I can't go back.
Well, then live with the consequences of your actions.
No. I play games to escape the consequences of my own actions. Fuck it. Let's turn to the forest for advice. This man realizes there's no one. He wasn't important here. What's important is the forest and when the trees were different to us, but observed the clearing carefully. They knew, they judged my actions. This was a test with two possible answers. Yeet! I decided to take my chance and punched him in the chin. So much more for my hopes of solving things peacefully. Who's Pazzasia? I like the fact that it's fucking clocked this guy. Oh, that's the forest, right. The clearing scattered, broke the window into sharp pieces. The edges of the clearing, the rays of flight, swirling in the darkness. One piece, one shout, another silhouette leaping. Dodge, cry, punch, curses, three different language. I danced between the piercings and the edges. I roared, prepared for his reaction. Took a step back, getting ready for his reaction when he jumped at me. I moved to the side, tripped him. He lost his balance. There's a loud thud as he fell to the ground. A flashlight shone his way. Anya screamed. Anya screamed and grabbed my arm. I saw blood. Blood on his head. Blood from the stone next to his head. Blood on the ground, dark and fresh. He had it coming. It was a fight. A fight someone's gonna hurt. Turned away from the man. Then I heard a shout. She killed him. One of the men shouted in horror, cleared for his voice, stretched from the flashlight in the face. It blinded me. I turned my eyes because I couldn't see a thing, quickly assessing the situation. A second later, I noticed a huge silhouette behind him. Leave her alone, I growled, and I recognized the voice. Was it Ogla? It was Ogla. His bulging muscles, bones, let out a joyous roar and grabbed the man, slashed him with her claws. What was happening? This couldn't be real. Why was I scared? I shook my head. Something warm landed on my face. More blood. Alphide Harold screams. Aya looked at me, panicked. What would we do? Act the man with the gun. Through the night. And then there was only pain. Uh-oh. The pain was unbearable. Nothing in my life had prepared me for this. I tried to stop the bleeding. Blinded by the blood in my eyes, I tried to assess the damage. My shoulder and my chest burned, the flesh wrung, slippery under the fumbling blood, the blood pumping out, broken skin damage. I realized it was too late. I stumbled, it was too late. The forest caught my fall of his bed of moss and twigs, stopped thrashing cold. No. I punched the earth, trying his hands collapsed again. Cold, suddenly there was light, and I woke up. It's a full moon. Looked different. Uh-oh. The moon was a gosh, and she noticed me. Get up, she said. I got up. Felt good. Oh, I shouldn't, but I didn't remember this way. I don't care. I stretch. All my muscles sore and cramped. But I stretch like I've never stretched before. My arms longer, legs are stronger, my heart is pumping, and I feel like I've spent my whole life packed in a box and I'm finally free. My mind is clear. Not as clear as I've ever been before. Movement silly to sprout right language. What I was born to be. Uh-oh. I want to click that one. Oh no! This is no bueno. I should not have had my good friend accompany me. Something stings me. I look around. There's a small malformed creature pointing a stick at me. The stick blazes a fire and another string. Hi. The creature is no threat to me. Our presence annoys me. Rip its head off. I stick my hand in it. I push it away. Flies through the air, making funny noises. Trees stay there pinned branches like a butterfly. My ears pin. I hear the creatures humming. I feel better. My legs no longer stings. It feels better than before. Is this a dream? Maybe it's a dream. I think there's more silently through the growth. The creatures are running away. Their backs turn to me as they escape. I just look at it. Look at it. The creature curls up, shielding its face with its paws to keep it from the noise. It annoys me, but I ignore it and move on. Balance. Piercing light burns my eyes. I hear more creatures coming my way. They want to hurt me. I feel like running away is the right decision. Because if I don't run away, I'm gonna murder a lot of people. And I'll have to face the consequences of those actions. I'm too smart for such an ambush. I claw my way through the nearest creature. Oh! And disappear among the trees. Frustrated, I shout. It makes me laugh. A new smell. Her nostrils, new smell. Something coming. The creatures? No, something else. Something moving among the trees. Suddenly I'm surrounded by them. I think I know what they are. They seem familiar. It's like I've met them before in the past, but they're hidden clues. What do they want? They won't touch me, I promise. I lunge at them with my barbed teeth. They jump back and laugh at defiance. We start, run with us, they say. There it is. It was me. I look around and saw my hands covered in dark substance. It was naked, sticky, glistening film liquid covered in... Oh, this is from the start. Activist. Oh, whose blood is this? Whose blood is this? Had I killed someone? My demon slowly lifted my eyes. There was a severed head right in front of me. Face control down over, retracting. I recognize that face. Oh god, I recognize that face. Oh shit! Bartek, his face splattered with dried blood. There was so much of it, I couldn't see his freckles. The head watched me with reproach. I cried. The bushes rustled a moment later. I saw Owl coming out from between the trees. She looked at me in the face. Get used to it, she growls. You're a werewolf. I look at her. I blinked. You killed it. I'll have you know, I did not kill anyone. Except the man who I sent flying through trees. Breed, humanoid, aspect unknown, rank cub, tribe unknown. Uh-oh. Morning, I some fur in the forest, low-hanging branches of old spruce trees. I heard a squirrel. I was hungry. I went outside. Forms, make my way outside. Alone, hiding in the tall grass, I sniffed around the sky. I was dressed behind the trees, yelled, "That's sex and violence." Memory started to come back. Something in my mind. Memories started flooding back. The fight, the gunshot, the strange dream about werewolf. The creature stirred, bushes nearby. Tall, dark silhouette, strangely familiar with me. I tensed up and watched the human as they looked around. Marna, are you there? They said they would notice me and it was time to get out of here. I spasmed. Suddenly, a feeling cramp spasmed through me. Everything changed. I was... Honed, human form. My body started resetting itself to its familiar shape, and it hurt. Bones broke and fused again, muscles hewn moved, but the skin, I cried and thrashed. In the pain and sweaty, I was humanoid again. I hit the ground with my bare hand. Colors exploded from the morning breeze, and suddenly became cold and shivered. I looked up. Confused, I looked at the person approaching me. Cornell is cautious. You look cold. Cornell handed me a bundle of clothes. Don't change for a while. They won't survive it, not until you earn the right. I snatched a bundle and started putting the clothes on. Sneakers, loose-fitting jeans, a hoodie with a unicorn, they fit perfectly. Thought about the previous night. All but the previous night I was reading through the forest and how differently experienced werewolf senses. Comforting, confusing, of changing safe. So, I was a werewolf. Huh. Nope. There was no denying it. I was no longer human. Well, was I in trouble with the law? Was there a murder last night? I said, actually, did they find my DNA at the crime scene? Did I take care of the human laws that aren't relevant for you anymore? We just stood there for a moment's silence. I was wondering how usually I learned they were real. How come nobody knew about werewolves? It doesn't make sense, it suddenly stuck to me. How did it come no werewolves? We protect the veil, was the answer. It's easy to convince humans that supernaturals don't exist. They really want to believe that. And that delirium helps. Delirium. Delirium is the madness and memory loss sufficient by humans who look upon our own Kornos form. You mean delirium, the mental notion. You remember it's... You should stay. Yes, Pat. The gist of it, the humans are capable of remembering what they saw. Greenhouse. Greenhouse, half wolf, half human war form of the Gero. He laughed. They panic, turn away, and instantly forget every time. I asked Cornell about his story. Then I realized something. The wolves had awoken. At some point, the rest of the party had awoken and joined us. They clearly full of wolves. Balance. The wolves were closing in on me. I knew my next decision would have serious consequences. Denial, escape, acceptance, cooperation. Oh, you're giving me some heavy fucking choices here. Oh no.
Classic
Denial,
World of
escape.
Darkness.
I don't feel like either of these are the right answer. Acceptance,
That's-
cooperation.
That's the thing. Sometimes there is no right answer.
I feel like that's the better option. But I feel if I go with that, they're just gonna go crazy because apparently people see werewolves, they go fucking crazy. But fuck it, let's go to the battlefield. I wanna see what I did. I wanna see my mistakes. Hella's body was heavy. They said as it was my first kill, it was my burden. It was my duty to take it to the burrows. I didn't kill him. I didn't do that looking at the corpse. I'd never. You have to balance death you cause it with your achievements. Cornell looked me in the eyes. That's Path Cornell. He accompanied me, carrying the severed head in a bag. The others stayed behind me, covering the track. Focus on the walk. I did not want to talk or think about the matter, the person I was carrying, or rather carrying it. It was just the thing I needed to transport from point A to point B. That was it. I kept dragging the body. The burn was too much to bear. Tried and hurt, and I couldn't do it anymore. I looked at the body and wanted to really say something, but I just choked my words and curled up into a ball, my arms around my head. I couldn't. I can't, I said. There's one thing I could say louder. I can't. Cornell's silent and kneeled beside me. You're a werewolf. Gina's soldier. There's nothing you can do about it. Get up. We have a world to save. And you have a legacy to fulfill and a debt to pay. He was right. Progression goal mission. Take deep breath. He was right. There was a reason. I had things to do. I changed. Suddenly I knew what I had to do. Do I accept what I've become, or do I try and fight it? That is the question. I think you just accept it at this point. You're a fucking werewolf. You really can't change that. Excuse me? I can... Warform, you with this killing machine. There's nothing subtle about it. Monstrous wolf, smart, fast, heavy, absolutely scary. Lupus, wolf form, a majestic animal with all the advantages and limitations. Looks great on camera. Strong enough to lift a dead thing, lift heavy things without breaking a sweat and intimidate. Do I become swole?
Yeah, I think when it says I changed, I think they literally meant you're going to change right now.
I'll become swole. Pain was stronger than I ever imagined. I felt my muscles spasm retracting themselves. My jaw cracked, mouth filled with blood. I screamed. Rose pain swearing before it was a gastro. It hurt. Goal identify. I placed among the Garo. It changed more than I expected. The world shifted. Not much enough. Oh, does that permanently pick my thing and I can't change? If that's the case, I'm gonna be upset because I would have picked a cool wolf otherwise. There's two shapes in the bushes. Oh, my companion smiled. You noticed their patrons? Sorry, patrons, what I asked. Winter now, morning wolf. Yes, the spirits who help us fight our war. The two animals stopped in front of the middle of the path. We came here to teach the cub, said the wolf. She smelled the ash and tears. Was I hallucinating? I could not believe what I saw. It made no sense. I felt as if my brain was short-circuiting. Connect interpreted signals that meant human sense. A wolf? My eyes told me there was a wolf staring at me, but I looked at it. I felt my tongue. I heard a warning howl in my bones. I smelled fire. When I talked, it was like the rustling of leaves formed words in his mouth. They wouldn't leave me alone. But the hallucination or not, they wouldn't leave me alone. The weasel circled me, and before I knew, I could feel the small claw digging my leg and my back. There on my arm, I smelled the musk and electricity, and then it bit my ear. Why would it do that? See how you'd react. Obviously, the wheel John's voice echoed in my head. Enough, the wolf growled, or at least that was what my brain decided to hear. I felt the weasel draw its breath. In the beginning, there was Gaia, aka Mother Earth. She gave birth to my breed of warriors. The weasel began as an electrical, a teenager recording a Wikipedia page over a voice chat. They were called Guerrero, the werewolves, and the werewolf. The sole purpose is to protect Gaia. They failed. Well, the wolf. Why would they fail? They looked at the weasel for advice. The time began. Gaia released three primal forms upon the weaver, the weld, and the worm. The weasel continued. The weld was untamed force and life. Creation, cold, ruthless weaver, gave destruction of the world, and the worm destroyed what needed to be destroyed, creating balance. The werewolf's creature weaver asked, enforcing order. The Gaia's children, the wolf snarled, born to head, contain the humans. So what went wrong? Want to read that paragraph for me real quick? Never mind, I got it. I just had to clear my throat. I see something went wrong, I smiled royally. The weaver grew too ambitious and trapped the worm in its lifeless web. The weasel continued. Confirmed, confined, and denied, the worm slowly went insane. Now Gaia is dying, choked by the weaver, and eaten alive by the worm, wailed the wolf. You must sometimes fight the weaver, it said a sad voice, but usually you can reason with its servants. Then it turned and led the way. Took us to the burrows. It didn't take much different than other parts of the forest until you noticed the mounds. That is, there was something about flattered hills that drew full attention. It must have been bigger in the past. I can imagine them vividly. They were built tall, proud burrows. The dead decomposing underground, returning to the earth, being new life. The trees around were the fingers, the dead sprung from the happening. Feeling anchored in my chest, akin to the taste of ash in my mouth. The smell of smoke, lounging sadness, resignation. Sense of sadness filled with me, calm, excitement. And when I closed my eyes, I saw fire burning the darkness. Farrell kneeled from the mounds in his hands. On it, whispered a few words. I saw the ground open slowly, like mouth from the earth, and sighed. Let's do this. Put the body in the hole. I took the severed head and the body, wrapped it in sheets, and put them in the hole. Closed it slowly. I could swear I heard the trees nearby sigh in anticipation. The wolf howled. I could feel the hair in my hands rise. Welcome to your new life. Taking the white weasel grin. We have something else to show you. I ran with them. You're a cub, so you have special privileges, said the weasel. Gracia will grant you a vision. You must see to understand the wolf. Think carefully before you choose what you see. Future, your destiny, your present, the forest, the past, your family. Well, my goal was to figure out my family, so, you know, get in there. Angled paths. It was hard to find the burrows, although I knew where they were. I looked behind me, the path disappeared. I felt the puzzle blocks, bushes, the trees, suddenly opening the new path straight at full of sunshine. But I pushed on. Since change, I have become acutely aware of how my body worked. I remembered humans were good at running, stubborn, relentless, long distances running. Not as fast as a deer, not as nimble as a wolf, but steady without rest. So I ran. And then I was there. The burrows. I climbed to the nearest hill, and I was at the top. I stumbled on something, the shape of the glass, a skull, watching me from the eye socket. I touched it, as you know you do. Oh! There's a swirl. It starts deep within, then expands. Everything in motion. There's no center anymore. See a village. There's a village in the forest. The howl wolf. People stop and look frightened. The howl keen. The houses were mere huts. Also, nothing protects people from the forest. The clothes are rags. Their feet are bare. Their hair, long beards are unkempt. Their wolf coves. Their blood howling begin. More full. Watch, whispered the voice in it. Watch and remember. But I cannot just stand and watch. I want to act. I weighed everything against the humans. I find them guilty. The forest listens to me. The forest wakes up, erupts with rage. Powerful field flies surge with trees. Humans try to escape. They scream. They beg for mercy. They try to protect themselves with fire. I take the fire from their hands. Gara rises up from the talons of blood. The eyes of fury. Fire yanked from the hands. I burn their house. The houses start to burn. Make the wolf mother happy. He returns a howl of joy. Hunt tip. My family burned villages with a pizza for ages. The forest. The girl had my eyes. I'm bloody the part of the story at the very beginning. I do it again. Then it happens again. Humans return. They rebuild the village. It's stronger, better protected. They keep begins once more. Then the girl come down like wolves, and then again. And then again. They feel the fire, more blood. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. The keening begins. Again, my heart fills with grief, rage, and village burns. Till one day, the girl wants family. He slays his own kindred, finds his first rage. I know him. He is young, but I recognize someone in him. An old man, I know. He used to tell me stories of the forest, before my mother took me away. He stayed there. I watched. But I couldn't move. My throat burns. My stomach is in knots. I want to scream, but I have no mouth. I feel the fire. I smell the blood. I smell the ash and tears. I see large gray wolves looking straight at me. Her eyes are golden. She weeps. It is in your blood, she says. It is your duty. It is. Come with me, child. Be my fangs and my claws. There's no one else to be my cub. Come to me, child. I will nurse you. I will lick your wounds. We will kill together. We will feast, and we will be merry. The forest will grow. I look at her. Perhaps the first thing I saw. Her. Who she was. Repelled, marred with fire. Her eyes were smoking embers. Ash was filling from heaving flame. She looked old, ancient, sad, alone. Mourning incinerated. She was the very idea of mourning made flesh, driven by the feeling of loss, so profound it burned everything in its wake. But she was more than that. She was also the spirit of the forest, herself, wounded, hurt, violated, mourning all her children the humans have killed. At least, that's what I thought. I looked at her, the wolf mother looked back at me. Something in her eyes made me realize that she was helping my family for generations, and that my family used to serve her. Join me, she pleaded. Only you can understand me. Only you. I went to her and she accepted myself. Okay. Hint. Update. My grandfather was serving the Wolf Mother goal mission. Stop the logging at any cost. one of us. Werewolf pierced the silence as ray of moonlight. Joyful. I opened my eyes. When I opened my eyes, it was clearing around. There was wolves, huge monstrous wolf howling at the moon. I'm not reading. My bones. I anamorph into a wolf. I realized very quickly. Just nod and listen. Living in packs, or gonna explain. When the packs fight when a common enemy, they form a sept. There were 2 packs there. I realized there must be the 2 packs there. I looked at Olga. 3 monstrous wolves changed. Olga and Lisa stood up and human looking again. Their clothes rumpled, the yellow-eyed wolf on their side, looking out for Daniel. We are the pack of the morning wolf mother, I said. Olga! They smelled of ash and tears. For a moment, I saw the wolf spirit among them. A look at Coral. A gray-eyed wolf changed in the corals soon. Pat and Kim joined him. We are the Winter Weasel Pack, said Kim. A white shadow settled about Pat's shoulders, smelled of musk and electricity. We are Gaia's soldiers, said Cornell. We have no choice. We choose whom we fight alongside. I have so many questions. Why is every sept diverse? You are from all over Europe, I know. It's like a standard for a sept. I looked at Coral. I don't even know what stupid question is a smart one. I looked like Cora's from the standard times. My fellows smiled. Normally, a sept is dominated by 1 tribe, maybe 2, but there's at least a dozen tribes generally roped it. How did the spirits work? What's the spirits? I asked. How does it work? The world casts a shadow and we call it Umbra, said Lisa. And in the shadow, every living creature, every emotion and idea, very important objects exist in our spirit. That's what you need to know at the moment. I want to know more. I think this is the definition of... Why did I hear the listen to me? Luna gave us rage. That's what we import, Olga said. And what you'll never be able to touch silver again. Who's winning the war? There was a war, I asked. Who's winning? At the moment, the word reeked decay and burning oil. Mother is sick and dying. We're doing our best to protect her. Do I have to join a pack? Do I have to join a pack? I asked to make sure. No. Can survive on their own. Girl said with sympathy, your old human life is over, but we will never abandon you. It summed it up. So yeah, that's right. I've been conscripted into an ancient war against a worm. I said slowly, trying to put it all together, and the moon gave me rage as a weapon, but I must avoid silver. There's a whole secret world of spirits, I continued, and I have to join a pack and choose a tribe. Exactly, Lisa Stone. As far as the tribe, there are 2 people who can mentor you now. Olga from the Black Furs, an ancient tribe of woman warriors, and Coral from the Children of Gaia. He is more a peace and harmony guy. What about my family's tribe? Shadow Fenris. Hey, what about my family's tribe, I asked. Lisa wins, Daniel sighed. Olga shook her head. What's the matter? Your ancestors were the Jet of Fenris, and no one here wants to have anything to do with that tribe, Colonel answered. They stand against everything we believe in. Were they really that bad? They surely have been that bad, I asked. Are they? Get out of Fenris. A tribe of werewolf supermax who celebrate the destruction of human world that Fenris... Blah, blah, blah. Alright, are the most radical girls from us and marred the face. Kim scoffed. A legit fascist werewolf. Some of them literally worked for Hitler. Oh! Oh no! Hitler werewolves. That's a... That's a sight. You know nothing about my family, I said, so don't judge my grandfather. I knew him. He wasn't that bad of a man. Every villain in history thought they were the reason to do what they did. None of them saw themselves as the bad man. For a moment, we were all silent. There are a lot of werewolves there. One thing bugging me, I said. Why are there so many of you here? Suddenly everyone balls werewolves or what? You know nothing, Cub. I laughed bitterly. A mere century ago, there were dozens of packs in the forest, but none of the old guards survived the 90s. What? They got schwacked on too many drugs? We have to start from scratch. Until you showed up, there was only 6 of us, and 3 of us are not even local, Colonel pointed out. 2 of the packs too small for their own good. You know more about the tribes. Pat is with the Glasswalker, and her tribe is finding the niche in cutting-edge technology crisp among the stands, the werewolf's net. It sounds intriguing. We talked for a while. What is she doing in the forest? She's basically a city dweller, I'm obsessed. All the Glasswalkers are. It's our natural habitat. I feel quite out of place in the forest. That got my interest. It's a tribe thing, I asked. So what is it, she nods? We used to be the weaver that fight the worm, and the forest is not the weaver's domain. And I happen to be quite fond of humanity. They have great potential. I caught it, said Pat. Or rather, I made sure it wouldn't have more to eat with me than alone. That's how you catch weasels. Is it a forest spirit? The forest spirit, isn't it? I think it's a weasel, so it gets accustomed to life where there's food. And right now, in the city, it hunts electricity spirits these days and feasts on them. She was a tech nerd. Because no offense, but you're a tech nerd. She looked at me so at first she stopped laughing. Well, she said she might. I am, and I didn't expect to turn out a werewolf either. I was a student happy with my tablet, pouring them. Boom, Garo. Oh, how did you meet Cornell? I was curious. I was in the first pack. We were both hanging out with the hacktivist crowd back then, and then things went south. He disappeared, and I found him. Ow. Ow, I asked. Pat rolled his eyes. Girl, please, I'm a tech nerd. So I found him, walked over. Alright. Him told me a lot about the Blue Nars, urban werewolves fighting the disadvantaged and the marginalized children of the rat. You really have a rat as a tribe parody? I asked. Sure we do, Kim answered. It's a very good patron. Resilient. If you want to be like a rat, you always manage to stay afloat. There are the Bow Gnawers, protect every single guy's children, no matter how small, because they're all valid, they sighed heavily. Now, they look down on you because you're a Bow Gnawer. They think they're superior, prejudice everywhere. Okay. What is that? It's a red talon. Love telling that. The red talon asked. It's a tribe of Garu who are born wolves. I'll explain. We usually don't mix with others. We kill humans. But since I'm the only one here, I decided it was better to join the rest. Wise decision. It's better to have a pack than be alone, I said. He nodded. There's always strength in numbers. I protect my folk better than your folk, wolves. Daniel, stiff in the air, his nostrils very human way, looking enthralled. He's a wolf. Are you a wolf? I asked. He made a face. We all are. That's not what I. That's not what I meant. You know what I mean. Yes, I was born a wolf, and then I turned out not to be only a wolf. I was disguised, you know, going around 2 legs, soft and helpless, really won't. Anyway, humans, they want to have anything. Besides, they're perfect. Help them. I want to ask them about the wolf mother. Werewolf felt silent for a moment. She was a wolf once, but people captured her cubs and made them foster children from the national park. She died and became a spirit. I knew she was older than that. Impossible, I said. She must be older, much older. Daniel looked up and shrugged. You say so, he answered. I still like her. She knows what it means to be a wolf. I thought I want to talk for me. I asked Lisa about her tribe, and she inherited her Serene legacy from the great grandfather. She said she wouldn't be a proper legend, customs, culture. How did you become a werewolf? A werewolf, asked Lisa. My grandfather saw that I sold a wolf and started teaching me. Spirit took me away. I was telling me stories, but I forgot most of them. You remember I realized she said, how else would you know about height? High tongue, language of Garo. It depends on how much language actually wears. Pheromones, and growls, and whines. Good question. I'll ask the top soon. Correct the tribe name. Remind me of something. Yes. Pronounced differently, so it sounds like a Polish word. Must have heard it before. Heard it before somewhere. Different context. In Russian, it means someone superior, but in Polish, it has its own very specific meaning. Lisa explained. It's a word for local physics south superior, and there are tens of thousands of them. My tribe describes both the legacies. My granny was a political exile, and my grandpa was superior. Just I became and speaks the truth. Who was she? Nothing more, I asked. She's very old, and we don't know who first appeared, but I think she's an avatar for the forest. What does she want? I kept asking myself the same question, Lisa halted, looking for words. She knows how to find the way to help people's heads. She looked for me for a moment, deciding what to say. I respect her, but sometimes I think she gets Ogle's head too much. Ogle lets her in. The wolf pushes. I don't know, maybe it's the bright way of doing things. She's been talking to me a lot, I admitted, and I'm scared of her. Thank you for that. That's all I needed for the moment. Anyway, before you admit a tribe, you need to prove yourself. What now? Prove yourself. I was shocked. I hadn't proved myself enough already? I chopped some dude's head off who was nice to me. I feel like a dick. You went through the first change, Pat said, learning the entry. You know everything you need to know at the moment. You have to go through the rite of passage, Daniel rubbed against the flank. Excited. A vision quest, Kim winked. And since we have time for the tents, we don't have time for the test, we needed you to do a real problem, Ogle stepped in. Mainly, we want you to find a way of ending this logging problem, Krill said gently. So how would you do it? They looked at me in hesitation. I took my time. I had a situation before in my shift, and I knew what to do. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. We need to find a local source for our problem. We need to find a source for the corruption. I decide we eradicate the cause, the symptom will go away. Kim looked unconvinced. Never mind the loggers. Kim made just her hand. We need to inspire the protesters. Lisa rolled her eyes. You're all blind, ignoring the most powerful ally. We rolled her eyes. There are many ancient speeches in the pause. We should talk to them. Plan. Cornell bared his teeth. Her smile. I know exactly what we should do. Talk to. Daniel beamed, spoken like a tree. True. Those born at a half-moon embrace balance between wolf and human, the fury and wisdom, and act as judges and lawkeepers. You were born on a half-moon, weren't you, yeah. I looked at him surprised. How did you know? My mom always told me that when she gave birth to me, it's a half-moon. Shining reminds me of her to pass. I nod. Huh. Hold up. You were right, I nod. How did you know? Gardu, the term werewolves use for themselves, were born at a half-moon are judges and truth seekers, said Colonel. Just like you and me, a worthy philosopher. I was born at half-moon. Not a personified Adelisa. The place where society is determined by your renown. You carry the glory through beating mighty enemies and succeeding in dangerous quests. You earn honor by following your moral impetus, holding the laws of the Garu. You can earn wisdom by acting effectively and thinking well before you act. Your renown will change as you play, contributing to Maya's legacy among the Garu. No pressure at all! Huh! Thanks, game! So, instead of having that big chart of, like, knowledge and shit, I now have glory, honor, and wisdom. And my breed is Philsphex. Alright. Grandfather burned the village and became what's doing what I asked him to. He was my legacy. I joined the protectors. Alright. Morning wolf loyal. Weasel sympathetic and a loyal. Rick dad is complicated, cautious. Ogla doesn't like me. Everyone else likes me. Alright. Or at least tolerates me. I had to tie up loose ends in my previous life. Back to the beginning. Excuse me, what? Seeing through the windows and much narrow cuts. The dense old forest. I remember doing something important, walking among the trees. Looking for something, losing something I loved, gained something I wanted. I'm fully awake. Their memories scatter away. We're almost there, Annie says. I did something, searching, looking for me, over a phone at this place. Amazing. The last primordial forest in Europe. Why are we doing the beginning again? Uh-oh. I laugh. You're such an adorable dork. I'm unable to finish before I start coughing. I swear my lungs hurt. And I turn to her. Bardak is dead. You should help. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We should help her, she asks, looking at something. Bardak's it's Bardak's severed. Let her die, it answers in a raspy voice. She had it coming. Feel something ashen and dry in my mouth, and then it starts to move. Spiders? Oh, God. I spit it out, seeing thousands of small spiders leave my mouth. Beds and silks cover me. Try to get it out. Crash in the window for seconds before I'm bound in cobweb cocoon. There's a hiss. Here's a long dark shape comes out of Berdic's mouth. It's a black snake that reeks of raw meat, acid, and oil. Don't fight it, Maya. You're already mine, it says, just like your grandpa. I woke up in my bed in the B&B. For a moment, I thought the whole werewolf business was just been a dream. I heard Keel look up, and I saw Annie looking at me with a grin. Girl, you sure know how to party. You're gone for 2 days, shook her head. Was Bartek with you? He's not returning my calls. How was I? I lied about what happened. I told a version of the truth. Right, it's sort of time. I drank way too much before it was fun. What about Bartek? The hell, the Bartek thing. I could tell her he was dead and I killed him. I don't really think Bartek's right now. I said I couldn't stand her stare. Bit my lip not to cry. I'm sorry, I said, fighting my tears. How are you feeling? I'm worried. And he was sobbing. I really like him and he's ghosting me. I comfort her. No, it's right. I hugged her. Let's give it time. She nodded and tried to smile. I felt part of me changing me forever. I wanted to tell her everything. Packed my biggest violence and felt a rift grow between me and Annie. I felt a sudden urge to tell her everything. I told her something she can't understand. I told her the truth. I couldn't tell her the truth. I was a Gargo and had a sacred duty to protect the veil, hiding us from the mortal eyes. But I could tell her something. I learned something important about myself, I said, and I have to follow it for a while. I'm sorry for the sudden change of plans. I sighed and continued packing. So you're leaving, asked Anya. What about your family history? I don't know the answer. I'll be in touch, Anya hugged me. I figured. I sighed, took my bag, and left. Everything according to plan. Ducks. Distant plans move. Stayed. Follow the money. With Olga's pack, local connections, Cornell's technology, wizardry, and we followed the monetary. How long it's just been this? We had to stop the money flowing. Oh. And we do it upon stop the life. Oh. Russians goal. After a few days of stakeouts and preparations, we identify a target. We're ready to move. We start and with a. Oh, Charlie, you know it's a great way to start a plan? A bit of kidnapping.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty good.
All right, I want you to read this next bit because I don't know what's happening and I want to be surprised.
We let him out in the middle of the forest.
Should I let Cornell take the lead? Oh, fuck it, no. I took the lead. I yanked the bag off the man. You want to keep going?
What? Oh, you can keep
I yanked the
going.
bag off the man's face. Cornell lifted a flashlight and shined in his eyes so he couldn't see us balanced. The man reeked of fear and sweat. I knew him. He was going to be a problem because the man behind the local bagging industry is Bartek's father. And I killed his son! Uh-oh. But that didn't matter. Our personal connection didn't matter. What mattered is the person, but the Lux guy is justice. The man whimpering and shielding his eyes at the time to deliver my message. Letting him how things were. Here's the deal. You stop logging and I explained to him clearly as I could. In return, you and your family can enjoy a safe future, one without strange accidents, fires, and misfortune. He almost shat his pants. I could smell it, but he decided to play with the tough guys. Fuck off, bitch, he yelled. I'm gonna make your fucking life misery. Just wait. I know the chief of the police. I know MPs. You won't get away with this. I don't know who you are. I'll show you for who I am, he said quietly. I know Corell tense on my side. I felt Corell tense by my side. Nothing, just watched. I took a deep breath. I was hoping that'd actually give me something other than, you know... Kronos' war farm. Cornell hostile. Pain hits me with a wrecking ball every time. A foot tall killing machine. I hit the man. Could I have shaped into something smaller? Here's my hand with stop. My body resists itself from the shape and the human again with the eyes in the middle. It's you. I looked in the eyes. What have you done with Baratech? He spat blood and stopped moving, and then there was only a main broken bloody sack of bones. Without him, the local logging business would come to a grinding halt forever at least. I never looked back. That went quick. I fell from the middle of the forest and never looked back. Moment of triumph. Low. I couldn't wait for the sept to me anymore. I punished the passage and knew that great far. After the sunrise. Soon after the sunrise, the same clearing where I woke up from the first time, the Garo. Lisa looked at, well, small. Our patrons were looking expectantly. Just stepped forward in the center. I am Tergo of the Sept, and I'm here to make sure do things the right way. Uh-oh. Fucked up. Mara, come forth. You are a cub who seeks recognition of an adult. I answered. Solemnly. I answered. The cub. Lisa looks for sepmates. I do. Cornell stepped forward. I am blind prophet of the children of Gaia. The weasel pack. I observed the cub on mission, and I'm here to tell a story. Blind prophet? All secret werewolf's names, so it made sense. The life to me a new name would also make names. The cub has passed the challenge, I asked Lisa. I held my breath. Fuck you. I knew how it happened. She succeeded, was the answer, but it was pure luck. She's not ready. Good. She see, that's all that ready. E. You chose your name. Lisa turned to me. My new secret name. Finally, I remembered my grandfather telling me his old friends, or Thunder, Gray, or Needle, as I always thought. More names. Anywhere. Captured a whole life. Let's go, Frog. They have Scala Rock, answer to imagining anchor that allows me to keep unbalanced judgment. Who's a tribe you wish to end? After various side glasswalker, Pat agreed to mentor me. Only thing I remember at the end of the ceremony would make a full-fledged Garo. I had to join a pack, already warned to the wolf mother. Olga cautious, pack morning wolf. Weasel neutral. According to ancient rites, Lisa painted the mysterious glyphs of the tribes here in a moment. Closed my eyes and feel a scowl of the glassware philosophers in the morning. Both mother pack came to her sept and she told them, yeah. The sky is saying was the war assassin secretly. You. I'm at the worm where it dwells, breathes submit. Respect those beneath you, the veil shall not be lifted. Rank. Goal. Identify and make your own legend. Okay. I threw my hand back and held on the sept. It's coming no more already. This game probably took like years and years of writing.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Considering the fact that I am 3 hours in, and everything seems still as good as when it started. Like, this is surprising, and I kind of love this. I think I'll go for at least the next chapter. Instead, they're surrounded by people weeping over their loss, looking at the rosaries clutched in their hand. We chilling thought the Bartek's face among the crowd, but no, I buried him in the burrows myself. Nobody there knew he was dead. Sona. Bartek was not the reason that we gathered in the churchyard. The local counselor found the forest a few days ago. His son has disappeared. It was our doing. It was our doing. The death tipped the scales. They died because they deserved it, or did they happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time? The company of someone who couldn't hold their temper. Was it justice, or another sin demanded to be avenged? I could feel a tension around me. His death funeral pushed the community, already weary and framed by the recent appearance of the force to the edge. The world was watching. I swarmed field like flies. I could hear the squawking aviation vegan activists. People, police were watching the crowd with distrust as they leaned lazily against the trees. Had become Bolshevika had become politically charged with the highest place in Poland, and only the local politicians and activists from both sides who had caught wind of the commotion of the Minister of Environment himself had driven to this place that I still cannot say properly because I am dumb. He was standing next to the priest conducting the ceremony, surrounded by the police. It looked like a handful of bodyguards. The coffin went down, the crowd stirred. Everyone started lining up to throw a handful of dust over the coffin, put flowers on the graves. Then he got swept by the crowd and found myself face to face with Mania. Everyone kept pretending that he's missing, but I feel like, Bartek's dead. She looked at me with eyes. He was such a cute guy, I froze. Must have been hard for you too. She patted my arm. If you ever want to talk. I said nothing. I didn't know what to say. Anna shook her head. One more thing. I know you think you're helping, but have you ever asked anyone what they need? Look over my shoulder on the crowd, and it's very clear many people felt like we were not helping. The contrary, the master knew how to use the sentiment. Listen in disbelief. It wasn't someone you called a good speaker. He spoke with length, but the Polish ceremony proved. He was trying to escalate. He realized the conflict was only going to escalate. He determined to push it to logging. What he didn't know, the local loggers weren't being paid anymore. He planned to use their anger against the government. Good use for that. Point it somewhere else. Ready to defend ourselves. That is so weird. It was high noon. Thank you. The sun was most merciless, and the world was almost white with heat. The air smelled of herbs, bark, and tree sap. Insects buzzed lazily in the high grass, stunned by summer sun. We were setting up a protest. The day drifting set up the protests. Carrying decorative banners, National Park headquarters. The wood is the enemy of the forest was our main slogan. There was many more. I want the protests against greed. There were so many of us. People kept coming to the camp, asking questions, looking for ways to help. Students, activists, even Greenpeace anarchists reading "Stop Logging, Respect EU Law." We weren't the only ones clearing a group of local citizens. Fans protest. Foresters save trees from woodworm, and forestry equal jobs. We're trying to get the attention of the media. The forest was watching. Kelsey was watching us. Every gust of wind, it's breathing over the wind. Wet with the smell of the forest in my nostrils. Felt her strong, steadfast presence. She knew what we were doing, everything in our power to save her. Thought of my family. For centuries, my family served. Still can't say that. Do you have any idea how to say that properly? I'm just gonna keep saying the forest, because that's the forest, but a fancy term for the forest. Burning villages, hunting the people down who dared hurt her. And now, I was the last the Garu of my lineage. What legacy do I want to leave behind? The presence was almost palpable. The tempers were flaring. The cops were gathering. Look at my pack. Everyone knows what to do, Olga asked, looking at my pack. I keep the security guards occupied, Anna Lista, and I'll guard the post perimeter, growled Daniel, and I glanced at the weasels. The weasels were in their position among the protesters, as agreed. That left the cops to me. I was ready to fight them. I'll deal with the cops, I said, and then we'll burn the machines. That's not the plan, Olga reminded me. Their expression, keep your eyes on the cops and stay put. The cops were gathering. The police were nervous, but huddling in groups, shouldering each other. Everyone who was in the way clearly didn't want to be there. Something was up. It was apparent they were waiting for something, and it reached a boiling point. Minister arrived for a photo op. I had a bad feeling about this all. The stomach turned when I saw the black SUVs, and I had a bad feeling. Journalists swarmed around him, praising his balanced foresty policy that steered clear of the ugly harvesters. In the hindsight, you could argue that what happened next is a chain of events in motion that had life-changing consequences for many. But it all started earlier. It all started centuries earlier when the first wolf cubs were stolen by the mourning wolf mother and asked for the foremothers for help. Everything happened next. The burning village. My grandfather escaped to America. My mother running away from her father. My return to Bells with direct consequences. The members of my sept had already moved to their positions. I had also my part to play. Smirked. How about now's the fucking time? She grabbed me by my elbow and dragged me across the clearing to administer. I followed her. Followed her and pushed. Minister, she yelled. Do you have a moment to talk what's really going on in the forest? Caught his gaze. Looked coldly vermin his eyes. No, he said. We don't talk to terrorists. He smelled of worm, and I'd gladly been his face off. We had bigger fish to fry. I wrapped my arms around Ogla's chest and pulled her back before she could jump at him. Save your strength, I barked. We'll find another way. The activists, humans, and werewolves alike listened to what we told them. What had happened. The atmosphere was tense. We started preparations. That's the worst case scenario. Okay, let's move. I heard everyone shout, move it, move it, move it. I like to move it. You know what to do. They did. And they did. There was a lot of laughter and friendly pushing. Chains clinking, people darted up the trees to seat themselves in the branch. Keep a breath. Wait, I grab my megaphone. Talked fair deal from where they could, gotten what we wanted. We started to talk. That started we weren't alone. After we stopped the local lobbyists, we noticed when camps asked questions. At first, wary of them, we soon realized they're generally interested in learning new ways we could coexist with their forest. So I started talking became big. We don't know what tripped the scales in the end, but the press, its attention and local interest came together for our passion. Talks weren't easy. I finally agreed and reached. We talked weren't easy. The state forest, workers, the local population, as actors, everyone wanted something. I was by no means an expert and wanted to play my part in the proceed. I joined the negotiations. They used a national approach. Of course, I had my opinions. Everyone had their own opinions and point of view. Let's take bark beetles. Middle of it all was the first beetles, such a convenient excuse for the legal logging. Beetle had always been part of the forest ecosystem, pointed out once by the ecologists, but recent droughts caused the spruce more susceptible than ever. Now, do we need to cut down them to stop the total disaster? We didn't trust them. We didn't trust the word that came out of the official's mouth. The beetle was not the reason for the logging, it was an excuse. We furnished the forest, scoffed one of the officials. Cultivated for hundreds of years, and we cannot survive without help. He was right. If you want to take the forest from us, the locals attack the activists. You're not here. You're not from here, and you tell us how to live our lives. The unbalanced ecosystem. What's the ecosystem? Flash constructive ideas, these up my attention. The whole area should be a national park. Oh, with a hot day there. I keep my eye open, head spinning. But I kept going. Kept going. It was a little heat stroke. With so much at stake. Just a tad heat stroke. I'll be fine. Of course, if they had to make it dramatic, there was cameras and lights and integration lasted all day long. We reached the first draft of the agreement literally at sunset. I had no doubts. They only decided to stop the logging because they realized there was something in it for them. Or they were lying to us the whole time and so they didn't trust them at all. And at this moment, I looked at the sky and laughed and felt overwhelming relief. Then my exhaustion caught up with me. I found a quiet spot and sank into the ground and fell asleep. Epilogue. Before the... Oh no! The next morning, cheering the crowd woke me up. It was victory after all. Condition healthy. Pulse was safe, and at least for the time being, people excited, antsy for emotions. If the loggers hadn't left, they probably would have we would have charged at them. It was almost... I was glad we avoided open conflict. There was dancing and singing of some cause. Making a fight. Yeah, just stop someone from making a fire. I mean, for fuck's sakes, we're in the middle of a forest during a drought. My friends didn't join the festivities. They sat on the logs, looking at the humans with wary eyes. I found my pack. We sat in the shadows far from the humans. Look at them. Murmured Orba. Loud, messy, stupid. Tomorrow this place will look worse than if we let them do the logging. They had the right to celebrate, I said. I'd rather they were celebrating at the end of the logging than destroying the forest. Celebrating is meaningless. They wound Guy even if try to help her first. I'll go look at them for some time or anger. We need to watch them. And then try to do something stupid. Can't hesitate to put them in line. She was right. I was afraid she was right. The time would tell who was right. Under the trees, we gathered to the clearing which first woken up as a Garo. Lisa stood in the middle of the clearing, a wolf and Weasel circling each other cautiously. Now, she said, looking at Colonel and Olga, you two need to solve something today. Olga nodded, anger in her eyes. It won't last, the peace won't last, she barked at Cornell. You should have stopped. I should have stopped you. It wouldn't have been the situation. The rifts that divided our sept proved inconsequential. Corn looked defeated. There was no hope. Cornell's gray eyes, they weren't piercing now, but ashen. Something had died in his soul that night, and it would never come back. It was clear that Olga was our leader now, for better or for worse. I let them know I didn't like it. I think it's not a good idea to let them know, I thought. At least in our parchments made sure that we did it right by Garu's law and Sept. Any more happens? It didn't cover up everything that had happened that summer, though. Some consequences would have to unravel with time. Anya was alive. Despite everything that happened, Anya managed to get out of it all alive. She tried to help the Pulsa and work for the activism sometime, but it was hard for the divided community she left to fail to study. Just as she planned. But it was all still ahead of me. For now, the first chapter of my new life was coming to an end. I learned my roots. I dug my hands deeper into the pockets. My family had fought the humans who had invaded our forest for generations. And now, there I was, making pacts of non-aggression with the loggers. Was I a traitor, or was I the one who finally got it right? Your story's almost over. This might be a good time to take a last look at your character sheet. Excuse me? Rank, Slieth. A young Garu, Navies, Flake, Glasswalker, Pack, Morning Wolf, Mother, Gala, Meaning Stone, Glory, I'm honorable. But I'm dumb, apparently. Condition, healthy, goal. Huh. Alright. Nearest me to smell the rain, and capture soil, faint, sharp layer of electricity surround the which I smell and look my new smell. This is not the end, you said the Ashingale, but I assume you know that. I sighed. Of course, I knew. It was just a momentary break, a truce that both sides need to regroup and reinforce. Yeah, I know. I sighed and looked around. I had something else on my mind. There was a swirl somewhere. I could smell it. I wanted to chase it, to run, to feel the thrill of adrenaline rushing through my veins. But I couldn't spot it. It mocked me from branches above, squeaking curses. But I ran anyway. I am lupus, wolf form. I've doubled it. Down pain, my arms cracked, my skin ripping swords of fur. I howled in agony. The pain subsided. I was lupus, wolf seeking the world, smelling its sounds, so I ran just for the thrill of it. Cubs gathered around the fire and listened to the story of Maya, the blood ditched. No one among the Garu was a scowl of the glass walkers. Flawless of the Morning Wolf Mother pack. Her judgments were honorable. Mara managed to negotiate a fragile peace that stopped the Harvesters. But would it hold? The first protests against the logging Follows Forest took place in 2016. The game was loosely inspired by those events. All characters and events depicted in this game are entirely fictional. Hello. Werewolf Apocalypse Heart of Forest is designed and developed by Different Tales. How would you rate this game? Because I really liked this.
I think it's good.
I just like to not always be playing shooters, right? I want to have some variation when I pick. This game looked cool enough. I know enough wolf boys that would like this game. One of them still is here, but I'm pretty sure he's asleep at his computer, so... I kind of want to play through this game again, but not tonight. I feel like if I would play it through on stream, not trying to narrate the good chunk of it, would go a lot faster. Because that game has a lot of reading. I think it'd be good if it had some voice actors, but there's probably so much fucking text in this game. If they had to voice act it all, this game would probably be like fucking 70 gigabytes. Just sound files. Especially with all the different alternatives and solutions to every situation. But the fact that you can't go back to change decisions is kind of daunting.
I think it makes it more like...
I know, it makes it more of an experience because you can't unfuck up. If you fuck something, you are just fucked. You have to legitimately weigh up your decisions. Because you don't want to pick the one that's going to kill a character. I'm curious if I made a different decision, if my friend would have died instead of the dude. Because I am kind of... I'm not even joking, I love this game. Like, I am giving this a solid 8 out of 10. Flat out, just from one playthrough. The amount of love and attention that went into this game is immaculate.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot more like it.
Oh, I know there's a couple more already. But I'm just like saying this is my first experience with it. I took photos and posted them on Twitter of the models I painted up, and the one I painted for a couple of the guys for Vesper was mostly white, so I couldn't get a good photo of it because it just fucking reflected all the light.
This doesn't sound very good.
No, it doesn't. It looks a lot nicer than it actually does. I kind of want to do some more painting streams. It was nice and relaxing. I don't want to do another playthrough of this because this took me 3 hours to get through, and I don't want to be here till 2 in the morning. I should probably work on my schedule and getting the 3D model made up this weekend, though, so I can try and debut it for the next art stream. You should come hang out with me in the next art stream, so I have someone to chat with. And Slash help me with chat, so I'm not always having to read my second monitor as much.
Maybe.
I also got this cool lamp now that makes it so I can actually see things on my desk and have proper lighting. I'm probably gonna get lamp. I'm probably gonna have to get a couple more for the best lighting now. By that point, I'm basically just putting a big ass light like lamp on my desk. Alright. I think it's about time I end the stream. I usually stream for 3 hours. And if this game went a bit longer, I would have kept going, but we're at the end of the game. I did one playthrough of it. It's a solid good time. I think I should sign off for the night and look up what I'm going to play next time. Because I think Monday is going to probably be a painting stream. I am undecided yet. To anyone... Oh. Before I go to the ending slide, you got anything to say, Charlie?
Nope.
You wish to wish them a good night?
Sure. Enjoy sleeping. If you don't, then that is unfortunate.
Thank you for those words of wisdom. I'll now head over to the ending slide. Alright, let's do the ending spiel again because it reset all my mics and I forgot it did, so I did a big ass nice spiel at the end and it didn't function. Thank you for joining me tonight playing Werewolf. I need the full title. It's very long. Werewolf, the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. I will be maybe doing another playthrough of it to try and get a different ending later. Because honestly, this game was really good. And I would like to thank you all for being here tonight. I'm going to look for someone for us to raid. It's probably going to be Vesper, because they raided me a couple days ago, and that's like the only person who rates me. Dramatic raided me once. And Kai raided me once, and neither of them are live. So I'm going to go with Vesper. Because they're a cool dude. They're the reason I started streaming to begin with. So any extra viewers I can give them, I like to. Yet again, I'd like to thank you all for being here and wasting your time with me. If you haven't, I'd recommend joining my Discord because I do post stuff on Twitter, but I mostly post my stuff on Discord, like my schedules and what I'm planning. I even have a place for you to help suggest what I'm going to do. So, if you want to, you're more than welcome to join. And again, I'll say it because I feel like I should. I really do appreciate you all being here tonight, even you all lurking. Especially y'all who are deciding to lurk and just vibe. I do appreciate it. I thank you all, and I bid you a good rest of your weekend, because I do believe I'm not streaming tomorrow. I may do something in the morning or afternoon, but it's not going to really be something planned. It'll probably be something one-off. Alright, have a good rest of your night. See you all later.